You're listening to
the Absolute Geek.
The Absolute Geek.
Absolute Geek.
Absolute Geek Podcast.
Check it out, Snoogans.
Hey man, it's Kevin Smith.
Hey, this is Jay Music.
Hey, I'm Scott Snyder.
I'm Cena Grace.
And you're listening
to the Absolute Geek.
The Absolute Geek.
Absolute Geek.
Absolute Geek Podcast.
Check it out, Snoogans.
Hey man, it's
Friday night in Phoenix. Woo! You're listening to the Absolute Geek Podcast.
Welcome everyone to the Absolute Geek Podcast. I am Matt.
I'm Kyle.
And I'm Corbin.
Welcome everyone. Sorry we're starting a little bit late this week. I had some birthday issues that I tried to get at home quicker but couldn't, so we had to start a little bit later. But thank everyone for coming on and hanging out in the chat tonight. We're gonna have a good time regardless. So what you listening to there, Corbin?
The sweet sound of your voice, man. I bob into an orchestra of my own making.
There you go.
Hey, you know.
He is on hold with a customer right now trying to diagnose their technical problem. Excuse me, ma'am. Did you turn it off and turn it back on again?
Oh my goodness.
Yes, I did. Ma'am, I'm sorry, but we're going to have you do that again. Will you please shut your device off and turn it back on? Why do I have to keep shutting it off, turning it on? God damn it.
Oh, you do a great old lady, Kyle.
Thank you.
I said I turned it off, and I'm trying to turn it back on again.
I have a feeling you hear that a lot at work every week, don't you, Kyle?
Oh, I'm sure he does. Me, it's more, did you turn in this book? Did you renew my library card? Yes, ma'am, I did. I don't know, because I checked today, and my email iPad said you did. Did you check the Wi-Fi? What's Wi-Fi? And then I said, okay, well there we go.
Wait, people still use library cards? People still go to the libraries?
Matt, are you serious? Yeah. Yes, they do. People, you get comics for free with Hoopla. You get free access to movies, music. I mean, it's not a library PSA, but yes, like libraries hold value. Huh?
So it's like Pirate Bay.
What's with all the hoopla?
Oh, wow. And here we go. Support your libraries, good people. They exist and they're changing for people like you to discover them. Okay? Thank you.
And we're out.
Yeah.
All right. That's
Everybody have a good night.
It's dead technology.
Only you can stop forest fires.
I mean, I guess a book could be the same way as that we feel about comics, where we like to feel the book in our hand more than the digital landscape.
Well, you know, it's the funny thing. I work primarily with the electronic stuff to help customers out. So you got ebooks, you got I'm all on that end now. That's kind of my main job. But they're adapting. That's what I'm trying to say. But anyway, you didn't want to hear.
So
about
basically,
that.
You're saying you're bringing your work home with you right now as you talk on your headset and take tech support calls.
And we're gonna stop right there.
Ma'am, are you sure it's plugged in? I know if it's plugged in. How many blinky lights do you see? Where do you want to see blinky lights at?
You're seriously doing this right now?
Yes, he is.
Oh man.
Yes, he is.
This is gonna be the bread joke now. We're just gonna keep going with this until I go back. You liked the previous Spotty Bosa Donuts recording, Corbin, didn't you, Kyle? You missed that one, huh? Because I sure missed the donuts. We can bring that back.
Chad says in the chat, what's his name? Corbin? What's he wearing? Khakis and an Absolute Geek shirt? He sounds hideous.
Classic. That's a good one, Chad. Shout out to you there.
Well, it's Friday, guys. Another end of the week. Anything interesting happened to you guys this week?
No.
Not a damn thing. Work.
Nothing exciting. It's so
yeah. I mean, Todd McFarlane's apparently going to the Alamo Draft House right by my job, like maybe 10 minutes away from my job, but I will actually be at my job, so that does nothing for me.
You know where I'll be?
Where?
Seeing Todd McFarlane.
Are you serious?
He has a heart attack.
you're literally gonna be like 15 minutes away from me. Like, I might go over there for lunch, get some Dairy Queen, and drop by.
What's
like-
that 301 that they're selling there?
Make sure
Yeah.
that you bring Dairy Queen for all of us if you're.
Are
gonna
you
bring
going
some
down there
Dairy
too,
Queen.
man? All of a sudden, you inserted yourself there.
Yep,
No, I'm
I'm
kidding.
thinking about it.
Wow. Yeah. Well, maybe stick around. We'll get Dairy Queen after. That would be cool. But
Aw.
see, we could do that. Look at that.
So
But no.
cute.
Yeah, exactly. I wanted to get my Batman Spawn signed by him, and I was really, really hyped up for that. And then I looked at the schedule and was like, oh, by the way, Corbin, you're working from 9 to 5, which, like, perfectly coincides with so much of the hours. So now I'm like, wow, that's a bummer.
I have nothing for Tom McFarlane to sign. Oddly enough.
Really?
I'm not gonna have him sign anything. I just want the 301.
You're not gonna have him
But
sign
you're
it.
also you're not gonna do
You're not gonna have him sign it. You're not gonna have him sign it.
What?
You're Batman 301. Or I mean Spawn 301.
I think Batman. No,
I was
they're
thinking
also
about
showing Spawn afterwards, so that's cool. I guess.
301.
No, I said they're showing the movie Spawn.
Oh man, no one cares about that.
Yeah, I've never seen it.
Apparently Brandon's Comics is setting up and selling variants and such.
Nice.
Sure.
I think it's gonna be fun. I'm gonna go to school in the morning, and then I'm gonna drive fucking like a bat out of hell to get all the way to goddamn Chandler. Who the fuck does anything in Chandler?
Technically, you're in Sun Lakes. Like, you're in Chandler, but you're right next to Sun Lake, which is a small senior community that I serve at the Robeson Public Library.
You know what? Who
Also,
the
it's like
fuck does anything
It's like
with
Sun
old
City
people
where I
in
live.
Chandler?
Wow.
It's like Sun City where I live.
You know they should have done it as
Wow.
Westgate.
We have a library over there, too. Look at that. Anywho. Yep, that'll be cool. But other than that, yeah, it's been bummy.
I hope to get to see everybody at Todd McFarlane tomorrow, except Corbin.
Yeah. Yay. Whoop-de-whoop.
Excuse me, man. You have to turn the e-reader on.
You have to make me lose my mind about
That
this.
button at the top. You see it at the top, lady? Don't you talk to me like that, young man. It's that fucking button on the top. Turn it on. You like? Who's got the headset on? I think it's me, lady. I have the headset on.
I can't. I seriously can't. Aside from that, penny pinching for next week in Tucson, so that's been not fun because a lot of things I want to do and I can't.
Just do it.
Damn,
Why
Corbin.
are you
Oh,
penny pitching
you're
for
right.
Tucson?
Huh?
Why are you penny pitching for Tucson?
For the bus money to get there.
Yeah. Well, no, I want to live it up over there a little bit. I'm gonna eat everything over there.
Look, I mean, I'll be
I don't know
honest.
what's over there to eat.
I don't know. I won't
What?
be honest. Never mind.
No, Matt. Speak your truth. Let us hear it.
No, I was just gonna
Okay.
say I know that they're gracious enough to give us a press pass, but there's not a whole lot at that convention that interests me.
To be fair, and if I may go on it, I did see the program and everything, and I am right there with you now, Matt. Like, I was looking at the panels, aside from like what's actually there, it's like there's nothing of note. But there are booths, so there's books to buy. Friendship,
There's
hanging out together.
there's some
Terminator
guys-
comes out. There's
Yeah.
that.
There's some
And
guys
there's
from
booths.
another show that like to come on this show. He looks oddly enough like Kyle. I almost confuse him with Kyle sometimes. And,
Oh,
you
Kyle
know,
with the gun.
yeah.
Shows right
Sometimes,
here.
sometimes
That
they
way. That way.
they crunch couches, but he spent the last year and a half talking up Tucson Comic Con but how great their turnout was last year, and then this convention lineup makes me not even want to go. I feel bad
But you
for
are
people
going.
I feel bad for people who spent money on this convention to go.
All right. Well, listen. Either way, you gotta look at it like this. All of us, good friends, food, fun, drinks. That's what I'm looking at it as. I'm not really gonna be knocking down the door for panels. Exactly. You said it, Kyle. I'm not knocking down the door for panels anymore. No. I'm probably gonna give a hard cap on the amount of money I spend on books out there. But I mean, Terminator comes out. It'll be fun. It'll be a fun weekend, and that's what I'm looking at.
Well, yeah,
it as.
because you're just
It
gonna
better
go
be,
home and
because I
put him
took
next to a
vacation
water
time
heater.
for it.
You're just gonna go home and put him next to a water heater.
All right, you know what, man? Honestly, screw you, Matt. Okay.
You want
Matt.
actually what Corbin wanted to say was, "Hey Matt, fuck off."
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, just for that one moment, because that hurts. All my collection's bad. So yeah, but no, it's gonna be fine. I'm looking forward to making the most out of it because I spent hard-earned vacation time on that, and I don't have any for like another 2 months after this. So like, it better be worth it, and that means I have to make it worth it. So I have to party it up. I'm going to be the party guy.
Look, you're gonna go and you're gonna share a house with the Couch Crunchers, and all you're gonna hear about is how Lance looks like Kyle, Supernatural, Lance's pop collection. So it's.
Listen, but I'm gonna be in the house sleeping. But other than that, I'm out, dude. I gotta live it up, okay? We burn it down. We're doing karaoke. I'm getting drunk. I mean, it's gonna be that. Type of
man,
thing.
I might have drunk. I have to go just for drunk Corbin.
Go.
Yeah, I mean, you got to make it worth it. You got to make it worth it. Last time I did, yeah. So play some pool. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be lit.
Drunk
it's gonna be lit.
Corbin.
Everybody needs to go to Tucson now.
Take a walk on the wild side, right? Hey, yeah, I'm looking forward to it though. Long Island iced teas, here I come.
Kyle,
anyway.
your buddy who you called out in chat this week, Mr. Andy Lundquist, is in the chat saying, "Guess who's back?"
I don't see a Mr. Andy
He's
in the chat.
He's on Facebook right now.
Okay, I approve. Fucking finally. That's just because I've been calling him out for the last few weeks.
Yeah.
I know you don't listen, but I guess I'll do this. But I appreciate it. I'm glad you're here, Andy. I'm glad everybody's here.
Yes, it's always nice to see everyone in the chat this week. Welcome, Erica, a longtime listener who can never seem to catch us live, and happy she's in the Facebook chat tonight. So
Yay!
So
I have to hop over to the Facebook chat and say hi to everyone.
do it.
Too late, just did.
You might have some drinking game people over there.
They know what to do.
They know what to do. Does your drinking game group steadily increase every show, or is it about the same people?
It varies. I see quite a few of the drinking game people already chatting, so that's cool.
There you go.
If you're playing it, cheers.
Hold on, Corbin's got an incoming call.
No, I was actually getting my list of worst comic books together, making sure I had it ready. I prepped today, Matt. I worked hard.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right. So before we get into that, because Corbin's been telling me that he wants to talk comics, and then he doesn't get enough time to talk comics.
We don't talk comics.
And that on this show we don't talk enough comics. So I'm gonna give Corbin.
Oh, you're making fun of me,
I'm
Matt.
gonna give Corbin his own segment to talk comics. And
well, it's interactive. It's interactive.
It is. So, but before that, I want to cover a couple other things. Let's talk about Watchmen. Watchmen came out on HBO. The first episode came out this week. Did you actually get to finally watch it, Corbin?
Yeah, I got like 15 minutes of it, and then it was time to get ready for the show.
I watched it.
But shout out to you, Matt, for hooking it up. Yeah, you watched it, and I heard you loved it immensely, Kyle.
Oh my god, I was so enamored. I didn't know what to do with myself. It felt like that hour was like 30 seconds.
Gotta love it. That was me watching Titans this morning. I feel the exact same way. There you go.
So,
except I'm completely being sarcastic, and that fucking show is garbage.
Well, I'm interested to hear what you didn't like about it, because it picks up after the comic book.
Yep.
It's not. It has not. It's kind of interesting how they kind of stepped around the event of the movie, because if you've read the comic versus the movie that came out, at the end they release a giant squid in the town in the comic book, and in the movie it's a nuclear bomb. So I found it kind of interesting that they still keep more events of the comic variety in the show versus the movie. But what didn't you like about it, Kyle?
I think it's just something about HBO shows. They all just seem to kind of drag for me. There was a couple cool spots, like the best spots when they were blowing up the couch.
Yeah, with the gun.
I mean, but other than that, it was. I'm hoping that this was just all right. We just need something to pivot on. You know what I mean? And then it's going to really pick up, and the rest of the episodes are going to be better. I just found it boring. It didn't hold my interest.
So just to kind of give a little bit of backstory here for everyone, if you didn't see the episode but are familiar with the comics, like I said, it's set. I believe it's set in 2019, after the event of the comic book. So the producers have come out this week and said that the way to look at it is Rorschach's journal was published. When he drops his journal in the mail slot of the newspaper, in the book and the movie, it was published. So now you have the police are hunted and have to wear masks, and so they've kind of taken up the identity of the Watchmen superheroes to be able to fight crime and do the things police officers need to do without being recognized as police officers. And normal beat cops have to cover their face. And so Rorschach is now being used as a symbol by anti-government establishments. So it's almost like if the Triple K's were Rorschach now. I know. I see your face, Corbin. But
sorry.
It's kind of like that. They're considered a terrorist group, but they're using the symbol of Rorschach, the masks, to do their work. And it's a very slow burn because it's after the Vietnam War. Vietnam is now a part of the United States, and so it is a very slow burn. I mean I enjoyed it because I was kind of intrigued. I think I enjoyed it because I was kind of enamored trying to figure out like how they're tying the comic into the show and like the way things are going. Like you see, they don't mention Night Owl by name, but you see the police are using Archie, his balloon, and I don't know, it's just weird trying to pick out the differences between the comic and the show and where they're going with it.
So you liked it because you were trying to differentiate?
Well, I like shows like that, like the slower burn shows. I'm a huge fan of HBO shows, Game of Thrones, Ballers. I like stuff like that, but like I kind of felt like that too, like you did. I felt like it was a little rough going when they're explaining all the Vietnam stuff and how now Vietnam is a state. But as the show got to the end, I thought it got better.
So you're just an HBO fan, but since you also like Watchmen, you said you liked Ballers, and my brain just shut off. But you basically are saying that
What, you don't like Ballers?
No,
You're crazy, dude. That's a fantastic show.
Okay, but moving on. You basically are saying that your interest in this is partly because of Watchmen in general, comics and everything, and
Right.
partly because you're just a fan of HBO shows, and so you want to see the two of them combine in that sort of.
No, I'm a fan of the comic. I'm a fan of the Watchmen. I've read the before Watchmen stuff. I've read Alan Moore's Watchmen countless times. It's just a matter of like I want to see what they would do with it because I thought for sure, HBO. There has always been that talk. Like I'm a Walking Dead fan. There's always been that connection that what if The Walking Dead was on HBO? The Walking Dead would be so much better if it was on HBO. So it's just that kind of like connection, like Outcast being on Cinemax. Outcast was good. So it was just interesting to see what HBO would do with it.
I think HBO would destroy The Walking Dead and make it so utterly boring.
I agree.
I think they would slow it so much down. One zombie fight would probably be 5 episodes.
Pointless dialogues, long drawn out action, quote unquote sequences. That's my personal belief, but yeah.
If it was been on HBO this whole time, they would have been on like season 2 by now.
With like 46 episodes.
Ugh.
Well, I thought it was kind of interesting. Like, just I wanted to see what they would do with it, and I liked some of the stuff they did. Some of the stuff I was kind of like, what's going on here? And I'm hoping, like Kyle says, as it goes along, it gets better. I don't know if they're just trying to establish everything, but like the part I was kind of like iffy about was like when it just all of a sudden starts raining squid. And I was like,
there's an alarm that goes off.
Yeah, and I was
So
like,
they know to pull over for it.
why is it raining squid? But then
It's raining squid.
Hallelujah, it's raining squid.
But then that's what made me connect to the comic is maybe it's the government's way of using the events of the giant squid attack to kind of keep people in line. So they just sound the alarm and it rains squid randomly to try and keep people, in line, I guess, as I say it again.
The fear of the squid.
The fear of the squid, yeah.
It's
Of
raining squid.
destroying the city.
Hallelujah.
But
There
like,
you go.
there was some cool parts in it, like when the Rorschach gang starts liquefying all those cows with a big old turret gun, and you seeing the police chief getting hung by a tree at the end by his neck by the old guy that asked her when or hung in a tree by his neck.
The tree grabbed him.
Yeah, and gave him a big old hug. By the old man that she sees outside of her bakery, asking when her bakery is going to open. So, it's a Detroit Red Wings hat trick. Chad says it's a Detroit Red Wings hat trick. Yep, throwing the squid on the ice. But
that's a hockey thing.
Yeah, Brian would get it if he was here.
I just got it.
But so Kyle, are you going to keep watching it or are you going to bail?
I'm gonna keep watching it. I only give it 1.5 couch cushions and an eighth of a arm pillow.
Wow, high praise.
And I took the ottoman back home with me.
Yes, we in the desert understand hockey slang. I'm a Red Wings fan, so I know all about throwing the squid on the ice, Chad. But yeah, I don't know. I went into it not knowing what to expect, and like I can't say that I'm disappointed, but I can't say that I'm exactly like enthusiastic about it.
Also, like every other HBO show.
No, I love HBO shows. Like I don't find them. I love Game of Thrones. Like I said, Ballers.
The only good HBO show was Eastbound and Down.
Eastbound and Down is one of my favorites. Vice Principals was good. Silicon Valley is a fantastic show.
Yeah, that's the good one.
So, I usually think like HBO is not going to do it wrong, but I don't know.
I think what HBO does with a lot of these shows is they sit down and they go, okay, we're going to write dialogue and we're going to get this scene written down. Let's make it as fucking mind-numbing as we can, and let's see how far we can stretch it out so all these dolts will just keep watching it, because now they, we spent 4 episodes doing nothing, so now they're committed, and since they've wasted so much of their lives, they have to wait to the last episode now. So they're gonna go through it. Let's do it. Good job. Thanks, Mark. That's what they do.
Well, I think they're kind of running into the same problem that DC ran into when they were like, all right, well, we're gonna launch before Watchmen, and we're gonna talk about the Minutemen, and we're gonna tell you some stories about the individual members of the Minutemen, and you're making up stories to try and fit the narrative of Alan Moore's book, and I kind of think that's the same struggle, and it fell flat, and that's kind of the same struggle they're gonna have with this show, is they're trying to continue off of the events of Alan Moore's book into today's society, and they're trying to use a lot of political issues that are rhetoric or issues that are happening today to drive their narrative, and I just don't know if it's gonna work the way they're hoping it is. So.
It won't work like they think it will. I'm probably done personally. I mean, I'll finish the first episode because you're kind enough to hook me up with it just to see it. But I wasn't too enamored with it to begin with. I do think there's a lot of elements that made me feel not uncomfortable, but just not something I was really into.
Well, I think that's the point of it. Is it's supposed to make you feel uncomfortable.
Yeah, but like there's movies like Joker that made me feel uncomfortable that I know were the point, and there's shows like this where they made me feel uncomfortable, but I would imagine that they would want me to have some type of enjoyment from it, and I'm getting literally nothing of that sort. But I've only watched like the first 15-20, so I gotta give it the full episode to kind of feel it out.
I had this after 15 minutes. I had close to the same thought. I was like, "Oh my god, this is terrible." Like it was that first bit. It's really hard to keep your interest. You're just like
it doesn't pick you up at all.
No, it's just they're not really doing anything except throwing out a couple of little things of what's going on. But other than that, it's like that real first 15 minutes is, until she puts that costume on.
Mm-hmm.
It goes and fucking breaks through that door and grabs a dude. Up until then, you were just like, "What the fuck is this?"
But at the same time, I also want to say that it does, like it. I guess the enjoyment of this show is more subjective, like you were saying. I guess Kyle, Matt, as far as like making you feel uncomfortable.
Country.
Huh?
Nothing.
I was like, what? You said my entire flow. No, but it's subjective as far as your enjoyment of it, because I am not liking Watchmen one bit, but yet I'm really liking Batwoman, and other people's like, Batwoman, what? So I'm not like bagging on it in that sense. I'm just saying that I personally am not enjoying it. Not like some movies where I can go, that movie sucked, and it just is what it is. No, I'm just not deriving the same enjoyment of this show that, let's say, Matt is, or somebody else in the chat, or some other person. For me, I understand that it's purely just my own feelings there, but it's not hooking me. I think the politicalness is fine. I'm okay with that,
man,
especially being a
I'm
message.
going to be as nice about this as I possibly can. And I'm going to have this long explanation to tell Matt that I think the show sucks, but I don't want to tell him that. So I'm going to put you on a brief hold while I wrap this up.
He's trying not to get fired again.
Exactly. I was thinking about it all week.
He wrote me a big, long 3-page apology about why he feels he should be on the show. And basically, said that me and you are God and podcasting gods, and that we're better than any podcast that he's ever been on. And, he definitely...
Thank you, Corbin.
Yep. So
I muted myself for a reason. I'm saying some words I ain't want to be told here, okay?
No, say them out loud. We're all adults here. I understand you think we're podcasting gods, and I appreciate it.
Until you fire me again and I'm out. No. But I was saying it to be fair, like, no, I think the show sucked, yes. But I was trying to be eloquent in describing that your mileage may vary. And that it's not like a show like I'll defend that is trash. Like, okay, X-Men The Last Stand, horrible movie. I love that movie. But, like, everyone can understand it was a horrible movie. Watchmen's not horrible. It's just not something I like.
I love the movie. The Watchmen movie is fantastic.
I hated it too.
What?
Yeah.
That big old blue schlong.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was just ridiculous. I thought that leaving the squid out was, if you're going to go straight off the comic, then you keep all elements of that, especially one of the bigger elements of the story. Also, it just felt, Zack Snyder was very heavy-handed with it, in my opinion. But no, wasn't a fan.
I think it was a good choice to remove the squid, because then it just takes that wacky, silly turn, and it's just like the comic.
As if Sting Manhattan's Blue Dong wasn't enough.
Well, the comic book, the nuclear bomb makes it more realistic feeling, I guess, minus the blue dong, but
I guess I get what you're saying though. I thought I would, part of me was saying, okay, yeah, leaving it out is more realistic. But then again, you're seeing other elements all throughout this movie. So going, okay, you can put this in. You're going to put this in. We're going to leave that out. No. But that's just one of the issues I had with it. I just wasn't a fan of Snyder at the helm of that one. That was heavy-handed.
Chad says in the chat, so what's your opinion on DC Watchmen coming out then? Batman holding the happy face button with blood seems like it could go. So, that's that. Yeah, that was the tie-in that they were trying to do with They were trying to do it with the Doomsday Clock, and like we thought we were going to get it at the beginning of Rebirth when they did that little Flash story arc with all that, and we didn't. And then they brought out Doomsday Clock, but I'm not up on Doomsday Clock. I bailed on Doomsday Clock a long time ago because it was taking so long to come out. I kind of bailed on it, and it just kind of felt like me that DC just sees the Watchmen as a property that they can make more money off of, so they're trying to force them into the DC universe for no apparent reason.
Exactly. There's no context given. There's no real reason. It's like, oh, we have them. Dr. Manhattan, yada, yada. And it's like, okay, well, what exactly are you doing with it, though? And DC's like, but we have them, so we might as well insert them. I agree. There's no direction there. And that's, I've bailed on that, like, what? Let's just say very, very early. It looks like it could go, Chad, but at the same time, again, if DC doesn't have a direction, they come up with some good artwork and some good imagery or something, or say the right things, and then you read the issue, Rich, and you realize that they're just with their feet stuck in the mud, just grasping at straws. And I think that's what they're doing with Watchmen and their property.
Hello, Chad. Yeah, I'm going to put you on a brief hold while I get some more information about Watchmen for you. I will get right back to you, sir. Thank you.
All right, guys. It's been a great night. Y'all have a good one.
But, like,
you're a punk tonight, Kyle.
Because it just feels like they tried to use Dr. Manhattan as the person who created Flashpoint and spun out the New 52, and then they're trying to reset it with, Rebirth. And I just don't think it works, and I don't see it ever working. Like I don't know what they're trying to do. Like I said, with Doomsday Clock, because I bailed on it. It'd be interesting, someone who's still reading it. I don't know if Kyle's still reading it or not. If anyone's in the chat still reading it, to inform us about what their thoughts on Doomsday Clock is, because I bailed just because I was like, this is dumb. And when they kind of baited us, saying that, okay, you're gonna have this overarching story going between Flash and Batman, that with this storyline with the Button and Dr. Manhattan and Batman and all that, to be like, no, we're gonna do it in a miniseries later on. It just doesn't work for me. I don't know. Are you still reading it, Kyle, or no?
I stopped like after issue 3, 2.
Wait, you stopped after issue 3 as well, or 3?
What?
You stopped after issue 2?
Are you talking about Doomsday Clock?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I only read 2 issues.
Oh, okay. I thought
I stopped after like issue 2. Isn't that what I said?
You said 3, 2, but who cares?
Issue 3, issue 2, somewhere.
Tomatoes. I get you.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know. But kind of just to wrap up the Watchmen is, I hope it gets better.
I do too.
Like you were saying, I was kind of the same way. I was kind of fiddling with my phone, scrolling through social media during the first like 15, 20 minutes, and then when she finally puts on the costume, it's when it's like it picks up. So I'm just hoping it suffers the same thing most pilots do, where it's a slow burn, just setting everything up, and then it's gonna be pedal to the metal going forward. But
I hope so.
I don't know how much that's gonna happen.
For right now, the Watchmen is flub.
We're not couch crunchers, goddamn. We're trying to
Catch us back next week as we break down whether the pilot was a show of things to come.
Yeah, we're trying to fucking Fab or Flub. So you kind of already did a transition to my pop collection.
Stop.
Would you like to see my pop collection? Do you guys want to maybe watch a little bit of Supernatural later?
Ooh, I gotta watch that after we're done.
We can watch some Supernatural. Me and Kyle both drive Volkswagens. Don't you think me and Kyle look alike? Me and Kyle are both fantastic people, and we look alike. People get us confused all the time.
I like your Lance voice.
Have you guys met my hetero life mate? My hetero life mate Max?
Hey, yeah, they're good dudes. Don't make fun
No,
of
they are. I'm just kidding. But you're over here trying to steal their gimmicks, so I just figured I would commit. I figured I'd steer into the skid.
I think it was hilarious because it didn't really sound at all like it. It didn't.
It's awesome.
I can't do a Lance yet.
Do the Lance voice the rest of the show.
I'm not as good as some other podcast hosts that do comedy and voices professionally. So I just dabble. But I can't. So
We're not going there.
So as I sit here and stroke my awesome pop figure of the newest pop for Supernatural, we're gonna transition now to something Corbin kind of touched on before, and that's Titans. What did you think of this week's episode of Titans, and what do you think of Titans of season 2 so far, Corbin?
I'm loving season 2. I did not like season 1 at all, so I had a low bar. It's definitely cleared it. I like that Deathstroke is the main antagonist moving forward. I think it's a lot more grounded, and I think that he is the antagonist that's best suited for this type of, let's just limit the bad CGI and everything in these shows. Let's keep it as, close on acting and cutscenes and whatnot as far as action is concerned than anything that would draw me away from it, such as like the CW action scenes. But anyway, moving on to the actual story, really like it.
Corbin, slow down a little bit.
I'm all over the place right now. I'm hot up.
Oh, did you snort some coffee before you started?
Yeah.
I drank some coffee, and coffee does the exact same thing as snorting for me. So yes, you're right, Kyle. Yes, but I will slow down. 1 second.
Shout out to Mike from Grizzle Geek in the chat. Guys, go check out Grizzle Geeks. Subscribe to them.
Yeah, for sure. Deathstroke is awesome, though. I've liked the structure in this show. We get, a couple steps moving forward in the present time. Then we get an episode or two back that's describing what led the Titans and Deathstroke to the path that they're currently on. and it's really good. It's a lot more focused on Dick Grayson, but it's also focused on Deathstroke. I think equal time has been given to Jericho, Rose. I can't say enough about the show. I've really, really enjoyed it. This last episode, first thing I did was wake up and watched it, and it was awesome.
I know Matt enjoyed it so much he wants Dick now.
Yes.
You can't wait till Dick goes tonight, right?
Yeah, we can't wait till Dick becomes night and grows wings.
I thought he said he wanted Dick at night, but whatever.
Yeah,
Same
while
thing.
eating wings.
Matt said he wanted Dick at night.
Dick at night while eating wings.
I'm gonna get the bakery guy back. Oh, I can't make a joke. Forgot. Anyway.
You're the one that puts those restraints on yourself.
Yeah, because you're gonna roast me the rest of the show. I don't want that.
You're the one who came in here and you were like, not gonna say anything tonight because I got owned when I tried to roast you on Couch Crunchers.
Okay, I didn't say owned, but it didn't go well. It didn't go well. I tried. It didn't go well. So I'll take a break. Take a step back.
You tried to
So
roast
what are
me.
they doing with Deathstroke that's so that makes him so good? They're doing it well, or what's up?
Yeah. I forgot his name. I know his last name's Isai. I forgot his first name.
His last name is Eastside.
Isai, I think. I'm not even gonna butcher it. Anyway, I like the actor who's portraying him.
Uh-huh.
As far as like his attributes and everything, no, he's just like a master assassin. They're not really doing anything too crazy.
Slade?
It is Slade, huh?
Oh, I thought you said it was a different name.
No, he's talking about the actor that's playing Slade.
Oh,
I
okay.
like the actor who's portraying Slade. He's doing it was a really good job. As far as like his attributes, his powers and abilities, just really good with knives and guns and whatnot. They're not going super crazy on it. They've talked about him being, they showed an example with Rose where he can just, not the regeneration, but like basically impossible to kill. They've kind of touched on that, but he's just a really badass villain. Like that he is what he is in that, but he's also a complex character because it talks about his military background, his fractured life with his son, his wife, and his daughter, and everything. So you kind of feel for the dude, not feel sorry for him, but you understand there's more depth built to the character. It's not we roll this bad guy and he's so great. Let's do some pointless kills to really make him seem powerful. Every kill that he's given has been like. It's for a purpose. It makes sense. And as the viewer, you understand it. It's not just mindless violence for the sake of it. In fact, many of these episodes have been more to the, as Matt described earlier with Watchmen, more of the slow burn variety. But it's in a way that keeps the story and the tension moving. So even though I could watch a whole 50-minute episode, maybe seeing 5 minutes of actual action, I didn't feel bored or out of the show at any one point.
Well, I like to your point, Corbin. I like that the way they're, like you said, the way they're doing it, it's more psychological. So yeah, they're not giving you a lot of action with him, but you're seeing that he's obviously instilled fear in this group of people, and he doesn't have to attack them like action wise to get that fear and then make him still feel formidable. I think Mike just put it best. Well, yeah, I think Mike just put it best in the chat that he's not invincible, but he's still formidable.
Mm-hmm. Even today before. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead, Corbin.
No, before he had I'm not really giving a spoiler here, but he faced off against one of the Titans, and I think he was talking to his son. He's like,
shit out of him?
"Let me show you what happens to Titans," or something to that effect. Like, "Let me show you what we do to Titans," or something. And even that one line, I was like, "Oh shit!" Like, you know what I mean? Like, he didn't really give a whole lot of that, but it was just, yeah, he's brutally effective. It's not too much in terms of the combat, but it's enough. And as Matt said, as the Grizzle Geek said. Exactly, he's formidable, and you can see that. Like, there's some weight there. Because at first I'm sitting there going, okay, you have Connor, you have Robin, you have the other Robin, you got Raven, you have Wonder Girl, you have what's her name, Starfire against Deathstroke. Like, yeah, okay, in comics and stuff, I could kind of see that working out. But in this show, like, how are you going to make it in a way that balances each character out, also having in conflict with Deathstroke? And they've done an amazing job not only doing that in the present and in flashback sequences, but also, just building up. There's 4 episodes left in the season, 5 episodes left in the season, and we've been building to whatever this end game will be, and I'm very excited to see what that is.
I don't even know if with the way they're taking it along though that we're going to finish the Slade Wilson arc by the end of the 13 episodes.
I'd be glad if they don't,
because it's like we get a big episode in the present. And they talk about events that happened in the past, and then the next episode they go back and show you that, like, what happened in that past. So, like,
well, Slade's not. I don't think he's one season character anyway. Like, the battle that he has always had with the Teen Titans deserves to be. Like, He should always be in and out of it. Like,
Well, I think out of all he's been portrayed 3 times. If you go with the Teen Titans animated series, Arrow, and now Titans, the TV, that live action show, I think this is his best portrayal. Well, and the short, hidden sequence on the big screen, but I think this is the best portrayal of Slade Wilson yet.
I would agree completely.
I think it's more comic accurate than what we've gotten than Arrow and even Teen Titans was.
Oh, no question, without a doubt. It's really good. He even sounds almost like hearing him like with the mask and everything harkens back to watching the Teen Titans animated series just a little bit. It's just so devoid of emotion. He even is like chiding the Titans in some of the fight scenes that he fights with them. Like, you guys fight with emotion. Like, you guys are just all passion all out there, and it's not surgical. It's not disciplined. It's not just precise. And everything about his portrayal is just that. There's rarely moments that you see him rattled, and when you do, it's for a purpose, and it's not, oh my God, like shocked face. It's subtle manipulation of the face that kind of show you, oh wow, this threw him off guard, or something to that effect, and it's really, really good.
Well, like the last episode, it ended with, it dealt with Jason dealing with PTSD from being dropped off the building and just kind of everything that's going on, and then you see at the end of it, the entire episode, they're telling Dick, like, you've got to come clean. Like, he's seeing Bruce Wayne, and Bruce is like, you got to come clean. You got to tell him what happened. Like, you got to face up to what happened. And then this episode, it cuts to, like, at the end of the episode, it ends with him telling Jason Todd, I killed Jericho. I killed Deathstroke's son. And then this episode cuts to back in the past, where it shows you the events that led to Dick Grayson befriending Jericho and how he became part of the Teen Titans for a little bit because he has his body snatching power, and it's kind of it's been just to see, like, you come to find out that in the end of it, Dick isn't really responsible for his death, but he feels like he is.
Are they ever responsible?
Well,
I mean, in as much a way as they could be responsible. Like, yes, there's some guilt there. I know you're messing, but in a real way, like, that's what I was thinking. Like, okay, don't be so dramatic. We obviously know that he wasn't responsible. Like, they're not murderers. But at the same time, watching the flashback, okay, you could see why. Without giving too much away, Dick's problem in most of the series, especially the second season, is going off on his own little adventures.
Dick's problem.
Yeah. Dick's problem is that he's pretty small when it comes to putting the team's needs on point. Anyway, I tried it. No, but he goes, you're a member of a team, you're a leader of the team, and yet so many times he goes off on his own. And then he leads the team into problems because he's going headlong without backup, without giving instruction as far as where he's going. You're a team, work together, and then that involves or leads to some sort of destruction.
What we've kind of said isn't really a spoiler because we're not giving away that much. But I could give a real big spoiler. And I'll say that you see Deathstroke kill a Teen Titan, and I'll tell you who it is if you want me to really spoil it for you. But I'm not going to do that.
Eventually, I'll get there. I'll be right back.
What did he say?
Something I couldn't make out, and then I'll be back. I think he was doing his Terminator impression.
His Terminator impression.
I'll be back. I'll be back.
It's not really spoiling that much, though, Chad. Like, you've got to watch everything, I think, in context to put it together. But I'm excited for more Titans. Like, I chomp at the bit every Friday to watch it.
Yeah, it's something I'm always excited for. And it's funny because I have gotten rid of the app on my phone just because I use so little else of the content aside from watching old Batman the Animated Series or reading some random comics once in a while. But every Friday I download it back just to watch the episode. Today, downloaded the app again, watched it, got rid of the app. Like, I'm at that right now with it.
I just watch it on my TV. I've smart TV, just get the app on there.
Oh, whoop-de-doo. For those of us who are living check to check and are poor.
Get good, Corbin.
Yeah, exactly. I got to set my
dirt
game up.
poor. I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, mister. I have all of the apps that you need necessary to keep up
I don't
with the
pay
nerds
for them.
And I have
pay
a smart.
for them.
No?
I don't pay for them, no.
Who pays for them then?
Other people.
You might as well give names now. No, I'm playing.
I've heard talk about
at
this.
least you have people like that. Oh yeah, we did talk about this. But like, okay, it reminds me of a high school story. So after graduating high school, maybe 2 or 3 years after that, I had a friend who was like, "Hey Corbin, there's a great business opportunity. You need to hop on." Da 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 da. It was about selling knives, And let me tell you, it's been like.
I think you've told us this before.
Yep, and this is just for the chat people now, everyone else, because I was so excited about those damn knives and they were so sharp, and I was like, "Oh, this is awesome!" And so I'm telling my mom about this. I'm like, "We gotta share this with people so that they can, buy these knives from them." And mom's like, "Well, Corbin, we're poor." And I'm like, "Oh yeah, I know. So I'm gonna sell knives, get us to the top." She's like, "What about your friends?" I'm like, "So they're poor." I'm like, "Yeah, I guess that's." She was like, "Do you know anyone who's not poor that will buy knives from?" I'm like, "Guess not, Mom. Thanks." And that's where I feel I am with the entertainment industry. I am where I am, and all my friends, I guess, except Matt, who has mysterious benefactors who can pay for these things. All my sports isn't poor.
Listen.
Yeah, I'm shelling out for YouTube Premium.
Well, that's your. Yeah, I don't know why you're doing that.
All right, listen. I have my reasons. That's what I'm gonna say.
So it's the guy who spends like $200 on the NBA pass so he can watch all the basketball games.
Oh, okay. First off, it was $300. Second off, it auto renewed.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
I woke up.
TV?
No, it's an app. I don't do the cable package. I just have it on my own. But I usually, you buy it for the year, and then I always remember to cancel the auto renew because I like to pay on my own terms when the money's balanced and whatnot. So I wake up one Saturday morning and it's like, "Congratulations, your NBA TV's been renewed." And I'm like, no. So I open it up, look at my account, thinking it took out the normal $250. No. They added a new package deal where you get NBA TV with it for an extra $59.99. So that was also applied. So in one grand swoop, I went out of $309.99.
And they said, "Congratulations, you're now broke."
Yep. And it's been ramen ever since. I'm playing.
Sir, I'm going to have to put you on a brief hold to see if I can cancel this NBA package for you.
Ramen and Impossible Whoppers.
Yeah, well, and when you really want to get real bougie, we get the Little Caesars Quattro pizza. Eating rich, all right, living that good life.
Hot and ready.
I knew someone that
it's
used to throw those knives.
$7.45, but
But I know someone that used to do that. They were doing the demonstration for me. There's a bunch of us, and the fucking handle of the knife broke off as they were doing the demonstration because they were expensive knives.
Yeah,
they were
Cutco
super
or
expensive.
something. And I told you guys I fell asleep in there. We were at her house for the gathering, and there was chips and soda, and I probably went like a carb overload because I was like nodding out. And I told you guys I sleep ugly, so like when I wake up, I'm like my eyes are the first thing to move before like my head and everything wakes up. So she's like, "Corbin, what do you think about that?" I'm like,
I like how he wakes up like he's been dead forever. He's just like,
that's how I wake up. It is just, yeah.
He like wakes up like someone transforming in The Walking Dead.
So that was a story. But anyway, it's over now. Story time with Corbin is done.
Story time. Fucking my dad. So we went out to Red Robin for my little sister's 14th birthday tonight for dinner, and my fucking dad tells a dirty joke right in the middle of dinner, and it was like loud enough for the people next to us fucking hear it.
It was the joke.
All right, so a little boy has diarrhea, and he goes to his mom and says, "Mom, I have diarrhea. I need Cialis." And his mom says, "Why do you need Cialis?" And he says, "Well, I hear you yelling that. I hear your dad yelling for that every time he can't get it hard."
Wow, that's a dad joke too.
It is. Corbin sleeps by gaslight.
All right, Chad, you keep coming for me with that gaslight, yo. I love you, man, but come on.
Not even me this time.
No. It's always one guy in the chat. It's usually Chad who sneaks in one gaslight joke. Always one.
You don't even have Tim here giving that to you this week.
No. Shout out to you, Chad. You got me again. I'm just kidding.
Wow, rude.
I'm just kidding. He knows it's all love. Right back at you, Chad.
But I just can't believe that you're gonna sit there and call up the chat like that, Corbin.
Hey, I'm all about that chat interaction. All right, I'm not calling out no one. We're all good here. All part of the community.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Hey.
But kind of transitioning away from the DC stuff, and definitely check out Titans if you guys aren't watching it. I know Kyle's got to get caught up.
Trying.
Kyle's slacking, man.
Did you guys let's kind of get a little topic that I think some of the people in the chat will like to get involved in, and talk a little about. Let's talk about that final Star Wars trailer. Did you guys see the final trailer for the Rise of Skywalker?
Mm-mm.
Yeah. Well, you didn't? Are you joking around this time? Are you serious, Kyle?
I'm serious. I haven't seen it.
Watch it now. Go mute. Go bye. No, I'm playing.
Is it that bad?
To be honest with you, if I can say something, I didn't like it too much.
I honestly didn't either, and I'm kind of sitting there like,
My God. Okay, good.
I left Last Jedi, or the last movie, The Last Jedi, kind of like, I don't need another Star Wars movie. I don't need to see another Star Wars movie. And
What's
then,
up, brothers?
What's going on, Brian?
What is up, Brian?
Long show. Sorry. I came in at perfect timing to talk about the Star Wars that I'm going to hate.
Oh, there you go. I mean, yeah. But were you just finishing, Matt? What were you saying? You didn't want this one after Last Jedi,
Well,
but then
I walked out. So I walked out. Kyle and I went and saw like a 3 a.m. showing of The Force Awakens.
Yeah.
And I left Force Awakens like, all right, I want to see what happens. I want more. Last Jedi, I leave that. I'm done. I don't need any more. And I felt the same way after Solo, and I felt the same way after the other couple movies that came out. I don't need any more. And then I watched this trailer, and I'm like, what are they going for here? I don't. How are you going to say that the saga is going to end, but then you're like, oh well, there's another trilogy coming out, so you're ending following the Skywalker
saga
bloodline? Yeah.
What do you think? Do you think that they're going to end up saying that they're twins? Because they kind of made that kind of at the end of that trailer where they showed them together, when they showed Kylo Ren and Rey together, like fighting. It looks like maybe it was a dream sequence or something where they kill the Emperor together. That kind of made me think that they're going back to the idea that they might be the twins.
I'm definitely leaning that way. I think with J.J. Abrams back in the mold, and based off what we first saw from the original movie, that it's going to be more of a parallel, more of a continuation of that. I'm just not excited for it. I think The Last Jedi really kind of turned me off on it. Not because I didn't think that, like Matt was saying, that he didn't want another one after that. I actually think there need to be another one because that one was just so horrific. Yeah, like you need to have another one. I just am not hyped for that other one. That being said, AMC is hosting starts on December 18th. They're doing a marathon. I think it's 30 hours, and I think I'm going to go.
Do it.
You're the marathon man.
I'm the marathon man. They're playing every one, and I think I'm going to do it.
You should.
Starting with episode 1 going forward?
That's a great question. I think so, which is great because I can zone out episode 1. I mean, and these marathons, the way they work, you can come in, come out, come in, come out. So I get my snacks, whatever. And then episode 2, I come toward like the middle. Episode 3, I love that entire movie. And yeah, that's how they do it. But each movie in between is like a half hour to 45-minute break.
See, I would be like, go for episode 1, sleep through episode 2 to make sure you're primed for 3 forward.
Yeah. I mean, and then take another gap after 6 to sleep through 7 to be ready for 8. But I got that wrong. 7, 8, 9. Point being, that's something that AMC is doing. I'm pretty sure Harkins is going to do it too. But I'm excited for that, just the spectacle of that event.
One of the things that kind of blew me away, Chuck showed me last night, is that I didn't realize that was so cool, that made me a little bit more excited for it, is when, that big throne structure that the Emperor's sitting on in the trailer, that is an original concept from Ralph McQuarrie, that Emperor's throne. So that really stoked me to see it, because I'm a huge Ralph McQuarrie fan. So I like to see them actually use some of that real concept stuff in the movies.
I've taken to calling it the Galactic Wheelchair. Otherwise, it looked like it was moving, and so that's what I'm going to call it.
Still pretty cool to see those Star Destroyers come up out of the ocean like that.
That was sick. Yeah.
Kind of back to your question, Brian, on them being the twins. I also heard that it's going around that Rey might actually end up being Han Solo's daughter that he has with the chick Khaleesi plays in Solo. And then Kylo Ren is his kid with Leia. So they're actually brother and sister, but they're not. They're half brother and sister.
Well, see, that kind of makes me think even more that they're setting it up to be the twins, and that's just subterfuge or subterfuge. Is that how you say that word? It's kind of like it's kind of like a smoke screen, but they're kind of telling you, no, this might be something that we're doing because, the whole Solo twins is a huge thing in all the books and the comics and what is it, Jason and Jaina Solo. So, yeah. So I could and it's called The Last Skywalker or the Last Skywalker or they kind of like doing Rise of Skywalker, and they both are Skywalkers if they are twins of but Solo and Princess Leia, they're still Skywalkers. So I think that could be something that we're going to see. I hope that's something we're going to see because I think that's something that they should have gone with, especially in the last movie. They really messed that up. Ryan Johnson. Is that who did it? Ryan Johnson?
Yeah. Oh my
God. He really fucked that one
Ryan
up.
Johnson, really.
Yeah.
That's what I was doing in that movie.
Well, I've also heard speculation that the title Rise of Skywalker is more of like that's what they're going to call the new Ascended Jedi because
oh shit, that'd be cool.
Rey is wielding a white lightsaber, so it's like she's perfectly balanced. She's the one perfectly balanced in the Force for the dark and the light side. So she's got the white lightsaber, and that the Skywalker is what they call the next like Jedi ascension of the Jedi. Is the Order
that would
of
be
Skywalker.
Cool as shit. That would be cool. I'm cool with that. But well, it'll be interesting.
I don't know. I found the trailer. I was like, I didn't care. And then when they try to pull on your heartstrings with the whole like C-3PO thing at the end, like everyone was making so much like noise about the fact that his eyes were glowing red in the previous trailer, and then in this one they're like, "What's wrong, 3PO?" And he's like, "Oh, I just want to take one last look at my friends." And it's like he's being decommissioned or something. And it's
it actually did make me feel sad for a second. And then I said, "Why do I care? Like this is the end of the trilogy. Everyone's going to go." Well, it's a setup. We're all worried about 3PO. R2D2 is going to bite the dust. I bet you that.
Kyle says it's crap.
It's a trap.
Oh, it's a trap. I think he said it's
a trap. Oh my god! Yeah, I almost lost it when Akbar hit the dust.
Well, supposedly you're going to see Akbar's kid in this movie too.
I don't give a crap about Akbar's kid, though. How does he know it's a trap?
Well, because see, she is the trap.
She comes out just stunning. She's a trap.
She comes out stunning.
She comes out gorgeous, and Kylo Ren's like, "Ooh, the Force is strong with this one," and then she reveals that she's actually a dude.
She takes off her thing. I'm a trap.
And all of a sudden, the Fetty Wap song just starts playing in the background.
Yeah, that'd be funny. That's like the most fun. Just now, I think I'll have in the entire movie was just laughing about it here with y'all right now.
I think
I'm really looking forward to Mandalorian still, though.
Yes, yeah. I think the most interesting thing to me about this movie is how they're gonna write Leia out.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. Kind of scares me.
She's gonna have a heart attack.
Too much cocaine.
Yeah.
Wow.
Cocaine.
I think she's gonna fade away like Yoda did.
She's gonna be flying on the Millennium Falcon and just have a heart attack.
She's just gonna be floating in space.
That was still the lamest thing they could have done. You literally gave yourself a perfect out right the fuck there. But no, let's do some space popping shit.
That was so fucking weird.
She was still alive at that point. They didn't know she was gonna have a heart attack.
Space poppins. You do not do that. Okay, that's what I've called her since the beginning. Space fucking poppins. When Star Wars, if a ship explodes, that thing is gone. Okay, there's nobody, no survivors. No, you are done. Like that's a death knell. So now all of a sudden, we can zero in and see her. No, what the heck? No, I was
so cheesy.
Triggered. Oh heck yes, I was triggered. I'm sorry. Woo! Oh my gosh, I was upset genuinely.
No. It'll be interesting. Hopefully, if it's bad, Mandalorians will, make up for it.
Hopefully.
We'll see. Are we going to get Knights of the Old Republic? I mean, has that been verified?
I thought that's what the guys behind Game of Thrones were doing.
Yeah, and I don't know if it ever was actually 100% verified.
I think that's. I mean, I know they signed their deal with Disney, but I don't know. I don't know what Disney's doing now that Kevin Feige is in charge of all this stuff.
Yeah, good point.
True. Be right back.
Let's see here.
Who knows what's going on with now that Feige's in charge? And I just kind of, I don't know. I wonder if he's going to burn out with how thin he's being spread now. So
yeah,
between the Marvel stuff now, Star Wars, and then he's in charge of being put in charge of the Marvel Comics stuff. It's going to be interesting to see how much he gets spread out and see if things start falling apart. But they got to do something to save the Star Wars universe because it's been pretty bad.
Well, they're saying, from what I'm looking at, I just looked in on the internet again, and it says that there's kind of a lot of talk that this is going to be the trilogy that they're rumored to do, and I'm all for that. I think that Knights of the Old Republic is one of the coolest stories in the whole Star Wars universe. So,
yeah, I don't know. Star Wars is just one of those things, man, because you grew up on it and you had so much love for it, and it's hard now to see like hardcore fans of the original series, of the original 3 movies, and just like lose interest in it now.
Yeah, a lot of people are losing interest, especially hardcore Star Wars fans.
I don't know.
Which sucks.
Corbin left because I was going to lead into his little project now that Brian's here, but kind of touch on some other things here.
That's something cool.
Brian, what
What's
does Brian
that?
have?
Oh yeah, this is kind of crazy. So Kyle caught a little glimpse of it. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to be here for the unveiling, but I'll go ahead and share my screen here in a second. Basically, for a lot of Absolute viewers, you've heard about the story about our buddy Chuck that came into that amazing collection. We sent the first 10 books out to be graded from that collection, and they came back. And basically what we did is we sent them out to be pressed before we sent them in. And we sent them to one of our buddies who's, in my opinion, one of the best pressers in the game. And it was funny because every time he presses your books, he'll send you a grade that he thinks it's going to be. And 99% of the times he's spot on. Like he hits it perfectly. And he basically did that with all these books, except for a couple of them. He actually thought they were going to be lower than they were. So that made us even happier. But for some of these grades to get some of these grades that he got on most of these are Silver Age books, not only is amazing, but considering that most of these books weren't even bagged and boarded when he got the collection, it makes it even crazier. So, yeah, if you don't mind, I'll go ahead. You guys want to see them? I'll go ahead and start sharing the screen. I got cool pictures of them here. Let me go ahead and do this. All right. So here is one of the first ones. This is the first appearance of Deadman. Came back a 7.0, which is absolutely awesome. One of my favorite characters. Pretty cool to see a first appearance of Deadman come back in a pretty high grade. Now, you guys are wondering, some viewers might be wondering when I say high grades and you're seeing 7s. For Silver Age books, these are high grades because most of the books before the modern age were just trashed. I mean, either if they weren't thrown away, they were folded up and, creased and ripped. And one of the things that comic companies used to do back in the day is if the magazine stands ordered the comics and they didn't sell, the magazine stands could rip off half of the top cover and send it back. So, I mean, you'll even see Silver Age books with half cover rips. So this is pretty amazing to see a 7.0 in a Silver Age book that wasn't bagged or boarded. So that's the first one. This is a first appearance. Yeah. First appearance of Sabretooth, Iron Fist number 14. This when Sean pressed it, he actually thought it was going to be an 8.5, and it came back a 9.6.
Wow, are you serious?
I swear to God, absolutely
Wow.
unbelievable. This is a ridiculous book to have, yet alone in that high of a grade, a 9.6 on first appearance of Sabretooth. So absolutely gorgeous. First appearance of Darkseid here. Another
It's not a
one of
bad
those-
grade.
Oh no, 8.0, super crazy book. This is one of those first appearances that make you just think, like, what the fuck are they saying? This is the first appearance, because not only does Darkseid they only show him once in this book. He's literally on a TV screen in the background of a panel. I mean, you know what I mean? So a lot of people don't like that this is considered his first appearance, but that's what the market has said. So it is what it is. But to come back in an 8.0 is pretty cool. Next book, there's the big dog.
Holy
Nice.
shit, 9.0. Damn.
Can you fucking believe that? That right there, my friends, is about as good as you're going to get on a Grail. I mean, this is a book right now that if he wanted to sell it, he could
Cheers to
get anywhere
that.
from, he could get $7 to $10 for this book easy. So just this absolutely blew us away. It's kind of got to give a clap for this one. You don't see this book very often in that high of a grade, and to consider that this was sitting in a box, not even bagged and boarded, is even crazier.
Right.
Yeah. So, and this one, Sean had said he was spot on. He said he thought it was going to be 8.5 to 9.0. So, pretty cool to see that. There you go, boys. 7.5, first appearance of the Punisher. Another one of those grails that it was pretty amazing watching him pull these books out of the box, because I didn't even know the grades. I had asked the buddy who had sent these out to not send me the list of all the grades that they send in. So, to watch him pulling these books out one by one, we were just kind of like, it was almost like that first time when we were seeing them, Kyle, where we were just going crazy. And it was cool to see Chuck, because now Chuck knows how amazing these books are, and what, he knows when he's looking at these books, he knows what they are. Whereas before, he had no clue. So me and Kyle were going crazy at these books, and Chuck was just like, I don't even know what these are. So now that he knows how hard it is to get these books in this grade, it was cool to see him, opening up his books.
Yeah, dude, what a lucky fucker.
Yeah. Here's the first cameo of Wolverine, Hulk 180. 6.5. This is another $1,000 book. $700 to $1,000 book, easy. Pretty amazing. This one blows me away still to this day. First Silver Age appearance of the Flash, in his own title. First appearance of Mirror Master. This book is just ridiculous. This is one of the books that brought in the Silver Age of comics, and pretty amazing to own one. Yet alone
6.5.
yet alone a 6.5 with off-white pages. So absolutely amazing. There you go. This is the first appearance of Supergirl. This was the only book in the whole set that we were kind of bummed out, but we knew this was coming. Sean, being the amazing presser that he is, he knows the grades of books. It's one of the things I still have yet to learn, how to properly grade a book. He had told us he thought this book was trimmed, and he had said, when he sent us what he thought it was, he said 4.0 trimmed, and that's what it came back as. And basically what that means, guys, is whoever owned this book before decided it was better to kind of trim a very small piece off the sides to make them look straight instead of, crinkled or ripped. And they did doing so, they ruined the book. Now, this is still such a hard book to come by, and it presents beautiful. So just to say you have the first appearance of Supergirl is pretty amazing.
Does it say trimmed on it, or does it say?
Yeah, it says restoration. That's what the purple is. And it says small amount of color touch on the cover and small amount of glue on the spine, top and bottom edge trimmed.
I almost wonder if it's
so they didn't do the side. They
just did the top and bottom. Yeah.
Well, I almost wonder if like my Demon in a Bottle, the print on it was like it messed up. So like the top of the cover is like off, is slanted.
Yeah,
so I wonder if they like tried to trim it up because it had the same problem, and they tried to make it look.
I think it's just the printing of the time.
Yeah,
Or Demon in the Bottle. I think that's just the way.
because I've seen a couple of them like that, Matt.
Yeah, I think that's just like a sign of the times of comics for that.
Yeah. But you're right. I mean, this is something that people need to be on the lookout for. You don't think about it a lot, but people are pretty nefarious, and they'll try to get one over on somebody. And back in the day, before there was grading, this is a lot of times that this would happen. It happens in the sport trading card world also. So you just got to be careful and know what you're buying. That's why these grading companies kind of became so big, is because your book hasn't been trimmed. There's a good chance if it gets graded by CGC or a reputable grader, they are going to find the restoration.
Except for a staple.
Yeah. There we go. First appearance of Black Panther.
Oh.
Yeah. 6.0, absolutely amazing. This book is beautiful.
The sound of comic nerds coming all at once.
I know, right?
Forever.
Yeah, and CGC knows that's going to happen, so they put a little protective piece of plastic over it, so when you do pull them out, you can,
you don't mess up the plastic.
Yeah,
it's easy cleanup.
Yeah, it's just it's a beautiful book, and to own it, any one of these books, I'll keep saying it, just to own one, yet alone in this high grade.
Right.
Fuck. That's unbelievable right there. If you guys would have seen this book
I just filled the cup.
Yeah. If you would have seen this book before, you would have never thought this would have been a 7.0. Find yourself a nice presser and, pay him good money, because
Sean's a man.
He is. To have a first appearance of Batgirl in 7.0 is, in my opinion, just almost as good as having a first appearance of Wolverine in 9.0. This is a beautiful book. And he's got both. He's on top of everything else. So that is the end of the first 10. Pretty amazing. Well, actually, I don't think it is the end. Let me see here. Is there any more? There we go. That's
you skipped another one too. Oh man.
Yeah.
Would love to have that book.
Yeah. So these are all the grades that Sean originally sought. So you can see he said the Green Lantern he thought was a 7.0 to 8.0. Came back in 8.5.
What about First Silver Surfer?
First Silver Surfer. I did not show that. Here you go, boys. Look at that.
6.5. Damn.
He gets put at a 4.
Yeah, Sean. This is another one that's absolutely amazing. Sean thought this one was a 4.0. Where was it? A 4.5.
Yeah.
Because it has a little tear in it. So this blew us away. And, we were thinking a 4.5, and it came back a 6.5. And as you guys can see, here's
2 points.
Yeah. Here's the little. Oh, let me see here. There's the tear that he was talking about. It's right here.
I see it,
This kind of makes me think a little bit about how tears are perceived in some of these older books that are not modern books, because, like I said, people didn't really keep good care of them. So CGC maybe treats these type of tears on older books not as bad as we think they do. And as you guys can see, it also has one of the staples is kind of misstapled. It's kind of off the edge a little bit here, which is kind of interesting, but still pretty freaking cool. So first appearance of Silver Surfer and Galactus. So first time you hear the name of Galactus, so it's pretty amazing. Yeah. So
I gotta
that
go
was
change my sweatpants. I'll be right back.
Yeah. The Hulk 180 he thought was a 5.5. That came back a
9.0.
6.5.
Oh no, 6.5.
Yeah. 6.5. Yeah. So that was kind of cool. See here. Here's the Supergirl 4.5 trimmed with a question mark, and he got that. This is pretty cool. He thought the first appearance of Batgirl was going to be a 5.0, and of course it came back a 7.0. He called it right on the money with the Hulk 181 9.0.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the Iron Fist 14, the first Sabretooth, where he thought it was an 8.5. It came back a 9.6, so that was a nice surprise. And he was right on the money with the Punisher, and the Flash 105 came back a full grade higher than what he thought it was. So pretty freaking cool to
lucky fucker.
Yeah, to be able to say you own all these books, and these are just like 1/10 of the books that he's got going in. So we'll keep you guys updated with the next batch, and if it comes back as good as this, I don't see how anybody can not be excited about books like this.
Those are awesome. I'd like to have a few of them in my
Right.
Pretty much all of them.
Yeah.
just not next to the water heater, obviously.
Well, I mean,
jokes you can't. No,
Well, I think
So,
anyone would kill for one of those books in their collection, and he's got all of them.
right? Yeah. It's crazy. And this is what makes it even better is that, he's at first, he wasn't a comic guy, and him seeing the excitement that we all kind of had at, this collection, it made him decide to keep all these books, what makes it even better. So these books are going to stay in his collection, and I'm pretty happy about that. So
Chad's asking,
very cool.
What's it cost to press ballpark?
It's usually depending on the book and the year of the book. If you send them a modern book, it'll probably be most pressers charge about $10 to press a book. Bigger books, it could be a percentage, just because if you send them an Amazing Fantasy 15, there's a lot of risk that's involved in that. So he might charge you a little percentage of the average value depending on the presser. Or he could charge you double the price of a modern book. So it's different for everybody, but usually it's anywhere from $10 to $20 a book to get pressed. So, and as you
it
can
has
see,
pressable features, it's worth it.
it's totally worth it.
But the only thing about pressing is don't rely too much into that.
Yes.
Because if you're relying on your book that you're looking at to come back a 9.8 just for the fact that it was pressed, then there's a chance you're going to be pretty fucking disappointed.
Yeah. One thing I did notice on a lot of these books is it has the whole Newton ring issue. Every book basically has a little bit of the Newton ring stuff, which isn't a really big deal in my opinion, because in order to see them, you kind of have to really look. So it doesn't take away from the eye appeal.
It's just because there's two different plastics.
Yeah, it's two different types of plastics touching each other, not on the book side, on the outside of the inner well. So
that's
touching each other.
Yeah,
that's the only reason you get them. I mean, it's going to be anything with it happen. So
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
That is pretty sick. That Black Panther, oh my gosh.
Yeah,
it's badass.
Forever. Wow.
Crazy.
I can't wait to see round 2.
I know, right? So those will be we're going to be sending off the next round this upcoming week. So we'll see. And it was amazing how fast when CGC finally got these. This is another thing for those of you that might not know. This is something I didn't really know. Depending on the tier of the book you use, and by tier I mean they have modern, standard, value, and for Silver Age books, they won't allow that. You have to use the standard tier, so it costs more. I think it's usually like $65 a book, but we got the 20% off because the people that sent it in have a store.
$65 a book?
So we paid $50 a book to get these graded because they're Silver Age books. Yeah, but I mean,
great, but
yeah.
I mean, look at what you're grading. Yeah,
I mean, there was probably over 10 grand. There was guaranteed over 10 grand in value just in these 10 books, if not over 15 grand. I mean, well, shit, one book was almost 10 grand, so it was probably over 20 grand in value in these books.
Wow.
So there's not a single one of these books that's under $500, which is pretty amazing. The lowest book in all these is the First Dead Man, but every other book is probably over $1,000. So it's pretty amazing, and these type of books are retirement grade material. This is the type of stuff that you put away in super investment grade stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So we can only all wish and hope that we walk into a collection like this one day.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Dream, man.
Fuck.
Yeah. Did you guys talk about the Todd McFarlane thing yet?
We touched on a little bit, but not in great detail.
It's kind of interesting. I mean, he's given away. He's got 2 exclusives that it sounds like you can only get at this event.
Oh my gosh, I don't want to talk about it anymore.
That's what I was saying. I want to get that 301 that's there.
I'm gonna be literally 15 minutes away from there working all day.
So
you're gonna have to take a lunch break.
Yeah.
Yeah, but on Saturdays, there's only 2 of us, so I can't leave the premises except for lunch, which is 10 to 20 minutes. So you're right. I'm going to have to use that 20 briefly. But again, I'm 15 minutes away. So get there, hi, and then go back.
Yeah, just go there to grab the books and go back. It might be worth it, man. Spawn...
Just put your headset on somebody else while you're and
Yeah.
you leave for a while.
Yeah.
Okay,
there you
sorry,
go.
Kyle, will do. But it should be fun. I know a lot of people I know. All you guys are going. It should be a big event.
Yeah.
It's gonna be awesome.
Here you go, guys. This is new to you guys. This is, the new little puppy.
What's the name?
This is Josie. Josie.
Oh,
JoJo for
Josie,
short.
Josie.
Yeah. So, Josie and the Pussycats.
That is cool.
Yeah.
How's the new dog adapting?
She's getting better. She's really jealous. She still doesn't play with her much, but she's playing more with her. So, and I think she's now finally realizing that she's permanent. So it's kind of get used to her. But she's going through the whole potty training and biting stage. So if I walk away, it's because I'm cleaning up poop or pee. But so
What we were go ahead. Sorry.
I realized that I don't think I ever want to do a puppy again. It's too much
I
work.
never want a puppy again.
It takes a puppy not to do a puppy.
Yes.
Because it's rain squid. Hallelujah.
Yeah. We've been doing the dance numbers all day today.
Yeah. So, in preparation for tonight, like I said, Corbin wanted to talk comics. So I tasked Corbin with the job of coming up with his list of the top 10 worst comic book storylines.
Ooh.
So Corbin, I'm going to go ahead and give you the floor, and why don't you go ahead and tell us what you got?
Okay, so I have one. I didn't get to ask this earlier. Do I have to have them in any particular order? Can I just name them and then can I just put them out there?
Yeah. I mean, you could just put them out there. I think it would be more compelling if you had them in order, but
hold on.
But you can just
I
throw
almost
them out
want
there.
to. Okay, I want to, but okay. Is some of them are difficult. So
Here, do
At
this.
number 1 on the list.
hell no, hell no.
read off your list, and then you can go back and quickly try to order them. How you would put them in order.
That sounds good. All right, so we have waiting for this to go on. All-Star Batman and Robin, Spider-Man Sins Past, Justice League Cry for Justice, Nemesis. I was going to put The Death of Superman, but I thought there's a conversation to be had around that being one of the better books and one of the worst ones. Absolutely, Batman the Widening Gyre.
I'm with you on that. I know.
Yeah.
I know Matt's about to go crazy, but that
There was
storyline
not
is
a doubt in
horrible.
my mind that was going up there. Spider-Man One More Day, another one.
Oh yes, God, that was so terrible.
That
And
was.
I was really looking forward to that one, man, and it was shit.
It was bad. This was written by Frank Miller. You guys probably remember this. Holy Terror.
Oh God, was that bad?
Yeah, I didn't count it as a book, but Holy Terror was ridiculous. First of all, and the fact that it was almost gonna be a Batman story. I mean, yeah, that just made it bad. I didn't count this as a book, but the entire Chuck Austin X-Men run. I totally put that there just because I had no choice. And then what was the last one? I had it written down and I'm blanking and I have to find it. Batman Nightfall.
I'm with you on that. I didn't like Nightfall.
It's my number 10 worst one, but I like elements of Batman Nightfall. I do. I actually like the Azrael run. I enjoyed that, but it was trash. Just the way it was done, no rhyme or reason to it. It was pretty
Too long.
Yeah. But if I was to order those, Maryville was pretty fucked up. You guys remember that one by Mark Miller?
Which one is it? Is it Maryville? But it was spelled almost like it looked like Marvel.
Yeah, sort of. And
it had the Greg Horn covers.
Yeah, it was. Let me see if I can get that.
Really cool Greg Horn covers.
Yeah, it was. Basically his version of a crazier, dark, sadistic Batman, but with the Joker's inhibitions of just sowing destruction. And there was one. I wrote it down too. There was one entire scene where basically he inseminated this woman with the fluid of her brother and then had it rigged for like a bomb to explode if she had an abortion or something. Yeah, and I was like, oh my god, this is incredibly fucked up. Yeah, that probably was my number one. Yeah, he inseminated a girl with her brother's samples, and like it was just a whole bunch of horror. It was like horrifying dark stories, one after the other, for no rhyme or reason. And it was just a weird look. I didn't like it at all. And mind you, Miller obviously is a great writer, but that was just not the look.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. Also, I've already stressed enough about Batman widening gyre, but that would be like number 2 for me. It was just ridiculous as a Batman story, as a superhero
First
story.
of all,
Down,
I just
Kyle.
want you to get the name right one time. Okay.
Gyre.
No.
Gyre.
Yeah,
Gyre. It's gyre though.
It's not.
I'm pretty sure I checked the pronunciation before I went on the show.
No, it's not how it's pronounced.
That's a big no go, Ghost Rider.
One sec. Let me see if I could.
My homework on its name.
Jaiur. Gyre.
It's Wayne Geyer.
Gyre.
Excuse me, sir. I need to put you on hold while I double check that last name.
No, it's gyre. I'm telling you. Let me try it again. Yeah, I said it right, guys. I said it right. What?
No, you didn't.
What?
But that's okay.
Yeah, I did.
I got it.
hear
I
it?
got it. Hey, respect for that. Yeah, I hear that. I respect
All right,
that.
thank you.
I got that.
Okay.
No. Anyways,
Where's Lance? You need him.
Hey, let's go.
I don't need
No,
Lance for this one because I sat in the audience and listened to the dude who wrote the book say the title several times. So you can have your Google Translate
American
say it for you
pronunciation.
as much as you want.
Maybe they were doing a different pronunciation, but in America, so let's go there, okay.
Whatever.
Anyway. But the story itself was ridiculous. If we're gonna talk about it, I mean, Batman was just getting owned and everything.
By who?
Silver St. Cloud, Automata was it was ridiculous. Silver St. Cloud complicated things by coming over to Bruce's after the death of her husband. Like, are you serious? Your husband just died. I'm gonna go to Bruce to bang and have comfort. Like, that was ridiculous. There was one scene where he was yanking her hair, and she's like, "Bruce, you're hurting." Like, yeah, the fuck you're hurting. Or you're yanking her hair. Like, it was not cool. There was a scene where he's talking about, "Oh, I pissed my pants after I set a bomb." And it's like, is this Batman or Kevin Smith talking? That story was just trash.
It does have a really sick ass Joker Bill Sienkiewicz cover, though. I will say that.
Artwork
It's got a sick ass variant.
Artwork was fine, I will say that. But the rest of it, man, I could not get with.
Batman or Kevin Smith.
Yeah. I always tell people that who want to argue with me, Matt, that that story is not a Batman story. Batman the Widening Gyre is what would happen.
I already tuned you out. I tuned you out like 5 minutes ago.
You can't tune me out of the interactive conversation, Matt. Spider-Man Since Past was just sick, I thought. You guys forget that one. Spider-Man was fighting these two twins.
Mephisto bullshit.
Yeah. Oh no, this was the one where it was the twins who were the offspring of Norman Osborn and Gwen Stacy.
I don't remember that one.
Oh, it's probably best that you don't. And it had a scene where, like, basically had, like, a scene of Gwen Stacy having sex with Norman Osborn, and like it showed a panel of him, a middle-aged guy we're talking about, by the way, and like, you know, whatever. But also, like, one panel was him, and the next panel was the Green Goblin, and the next panel was him. Just really, really weird. Kind of sick when you think about it. And there's some other scenes I'm not even gonna mention here that were just disgusting. So that was there. Spider-Man One More Day had a slot marked in there just from the get-go. The Death of Superman was weird. I say it was one of the worst comics because it was just a mindless fight for the entire comic. But I guess that's also what ended up making it really good because of it being, I think it was really a product of its time. Like, oh, Superman died. Wow, this is like an iconic moment, which it is. And
Up.
Exactly, and it was. But if you read the comic in general, I mean, even the two movie or film adaptations of it, they build more backstory to make you feel for the loss of Superman because there is no build in the comics. It's just mindless beast. Superman fights him. He's too strong. 30 pages later, Superman dies. And that's it. I think he saves the kid in one, and then Lois Lane is crying over Superman's body. And those are the only emotional notes that you get in the story. So there's nothing invested, which is why I call it the Michael Bay of comics. I'm not the only one who's called it that.
but it definitely is that. It's just explosions, boom, bam, end of story. But yeah, what bad comics do you think of, Matt? I know you know, lightfully tuned me out here, but what are some bad comics you have? The rest of you guys, I'd like to know. Just throw in that pool of just horribly done comics or comic runs or anything of that sort.
I mean, I think you hit quite a few of them on the head. I mean, I understand Wayne Geyer. I get it. I have love for it because it's Kevin. I don't care what your phone says.
You don't care. You really don't care.
Okay.
I need to hear it again.
One sec. Wait, here. Oh, well, Batman the Widening what? Oh, thank you.
Okay.
Sure. All right.
Props.
Yeah.
But anyway, continue, Matt. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to distract you there.
I mean, I just wanted to make sure you had one more day on there, and you do. So I mean, I think you have a pretty solid list.
Yeah, One More Day is definitely, that's the first thing I think of because I remember when that storyline had first been advertised in previews, everybody was so excited for it because they were acting like this is going to be the greatest Spider-Man storyline ever. And the art was really good for that stuff. Yeah, it was crap.
Okay, so here's a question for you guys. Having read it and like right when it came out, what could you have done or would you have done to have fixed that comic?
The whole ending with him and Mary Jane forgetting each other, get rid of it. That was ridiculous. Mary Jane is one of the things that makes Spider-Man so cool is Mary Jane. Like Mary Jane is such a major character in Spider-Man mythos that she's like Lois Lane. She should always be with Peter Parker. It's just the way it is. Anytime you have that not happening, why fans just love Mary Jane too much to take her away, and then they took her away for a long time
because she's so ingrained.
Yeah, and the other thing that the big bad in that storyline, they really pumped him up, and it's a good idea, but it turned out to just be really lackluster. What was that? Vorloon or something like that? The guy's name? Yeah, Moron. Yeah.
Yeah, and they actually brought him in during Michael Straczynski's run.
Yeah, J. Scott Campbell.
And yeah, I thought that was a decent application of him. Yeah, he was a weird one-off villain, but it worked. I was like, wow, he's powerful, and then he was gone, and great. Bringing him back in the way they did there, you're right, was just ridiculous and only added to the absurdity of the story.
Yeah. Crazy. I can't think of any other storylines that just pop out at me as bad storylines.
Heroes Reborn, but that wasn't really
yes.
That was more like a comic run, but that was horrible.
Yes.
The Civil War 2 was kind of a shitty storyline.
Civil War 2. Yeah, that was bad. What was the one with Onslaught?
Oh yeah, it was called Onslaught.
Oh, it was called. There you go. Onslaught that on the list.
And Onslaught was a really cool character at first.
He looked bomb. I'll tell you that.
He recently did Secret War. It kind of sucked.
Yeah. True. Infinite Crisis ended really shitty, but it was but it started. It was that Infinite Crisis made me a huge fan of Superboy Prime. I wish they'd bring back Superboy Prime. He's so fucking evil and powerful that he's just a really cool character. And that the way that they ended that was a little lackluster, but overall it was a decent storyline.
Michael Stout put out that Spider Island sucked.
Yeah, Spider Island did suck. You know what? Yeah, Kyle, you're right. The whole Secret War 2 thing was absolutely terrible, and they ran with it for way too long.
Yep. It's horrible.
Yeah, wow. Man. There's a lot of them that I'm sure we're forgetting, but that's why they're bad, because they're forgettable.
There we go. Yeah. Well, then, wow, that was good. I'm gonna try to bring in some more comic adjacent stuff, little things like that.
I kind of
right, guys.
Well, I kind of think that Spider-Verse belongs on there.
The comic run. You know what?
I like Spider-Verse.
They're trying so hard to make it work now, and it gave us some cool characters, but I think the overall arcing story of it was kind of bad.
I thought it was cool. I couldn't wait for every issue of it.
Because you wanted to see the next Spider-Man, right? The next universe.
Just the whole thing that was going on, everything bouncing there. Everyone was bouncing everywhere to here. It was. I just thought it was cool.
I got one, and it's not just a storyline as much as it is a whole comic like Heroes Reborn. Ultimate X-Men. Ultimate X-Men was absolute garbage, and it was coming off the heels of Ultimate Spider-Man, which was so good.
That's
like
true. That was
how they had, and don't get me wrong, I have no problem with your sexual preference and stuff, but to have Colossus be gay was kind of really, it didn't help this storyline in Ultimate X-Men. And there was just a lot of storylines that were really forced that I didn't like, and the whole Ultimate line was supposed to be like a more realistic line. It was bad, really bad.
Ultimatum. That's what it was. Ultimatum was another one that was just straight up crappy carnage. But that's what it was.
I got one. Original Sin.
Oh,
yeah.
How do you kill the Watcher? He's the most powerful character in the universe, and you kill him now, and then it ends up being Nick Fury that kills him. What the fuck? Yeah, that was dumb. The whole life model decoy.
When it finally got to that, I was actually pissed.
Yeah, that was crazy. If we're going down the Frank Miller classics, Batman: The Dark Knight Strikes Again was trash. Batman: Dark Knight Master Race was slightly better, but Strikes Again was just ridiculous. He wrote it around the time of the World Trade Center, and it seemed like he drastically rewrote the story to kind of fit some of that. Those are also market shift in direction. If you notice, the first 2 issues, it also took forever to come out, and then the remaining 3, it was disjointed. The artwork was clunky. There was weird panels in so many of them that just had backgrounds that was just ridiculous. Then there was this Joker character that ended up being Dick Grayson, and he was like, "I loved you, Bruce," and this and that. Was went a different way, and then it ended up with Batman cutting off his head, even though he was regenerating himself, and then threw him into the fiery hell pit of the Batcave. It was just. I'm explaining the story as it's described. It was ridiculous. It was just grotesque. It was annoying. Superman and Wonder Woman had sex for 8 panels, full 8 spreads. Brainiac was a giant frog. Lex Luthor was just this horribly fat dude, and that's all he brought. And then he's brutally murdered as Batman cheers on the people who kill him. It was ridiculous. The story was ridiculous. Yeah. Everything was ridiculous. It was Frank Miller's effed up Justice League. And yeah, exactly. And it was after waiting 16 years for a sequel to literally the best Batman story of all time, next to Gotham by Gaslight. And that's what you get. It's just ridiculous. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I think that those are some good ones. Yeah.
Cool. Well, I'm going to get back on the grind, making some lists and having some things there. But that was something I definitely wanted to. I thought we get a good conversation out of it. Get some names up. Everyone knows the worst ones. They kind of stick in your head with stories. You have so many either good to decent ones that over the time you get ones that just did not land and didn't land then and didn't hold up well now. And I think it's cool to reflect on that for a minute.
Grizzle Geek says Clone Saga.
Oh.
Yes. Yeah, how did we forget that?
I do not know. Wow.
God, yes. That is probably number 1 all time, right? That might be very close to number 1 all time on most people's lists.
Me and Matt apart right now.
What's that?
Look, you can't tell me and Matt apart right now.
I know.
They really
I'm trying to think. I'm sorry. I'm trying to rack through my brain real quick and think.
Clone Saga is a really good one that I can't believe none of us remembered. Yeah, I understand why we didn't remember it, but
I think you said Civil War 2. That's a bad one, also.
Yeah.
And then
Secret Empire, right?
Yeah. And that whole Battle World thing Marvel did.
Secret World 2. That was Secret World 2.
Yeah, was pretty bad.
Yeah.
And
I know that there's one. What was it?
A lot of those stories right there that we were just talking about is what turned me off from Marvel for a long time.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Right now there's very few. I'm trying again because it's just.
I got one that Kyle he might disagree with. The storyline where Dick Grayson was the secret agent.
I like that.
I thought I want to see Dick Grayson as Nightwing or Batman, one of the two. I don't want to see him as some. Yeah, he's not a cop.
I thought it was cool. I thought it was different. I thought Tim Seeley did a nice change, and I liked it. Yeah.
God, I'm trying to think of it.
Yeah, I have to disagree with you there.
Yeah,
I think
that was one that Tim Seeley got you to really like Tim Seeley's writing.
Yeah.
I heard Watchmen. Someone says I heard Watchmen was racist. Is that true?
I didn't think it was.
I mean,
It took place in it did an event of something that happened.
product of its times, that was less than glorious, if you will. In and of itself, no. What's his face was though? What was that guy?
Ozymandias?
No, he died.
I mean, it's
I'm forgetting.
circled into-
The sheriff, the
Comedian?
like
Comedian?
sheriff dude.
Comedian, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, are you? Well, I think you need to specify
Which Watchmen?
Right, if we're talking the TV show or the comic book.
Oh, the comic. Sorry.
No, I'm talking about who asked it in the chat.
I'm talking about the show.
But
They
yeah,
might be talking about
Because
the show. You're right.
The first episode just came out.
But yeah, I mean, Comedian was in the comics, but I don't think the show doesn't really touch on race. It's more society issues and more of like kind of what we're facing today. And it's I wouldn't say it has to do with race. Would you, Kyle?
No, I mean, in the beginning, they took something from a moment of history.
Yeah.
But other than that, it dabbled. I think the only reason you can get that out of it, since it's kind of like the Ku Klux Klan types that they're going after and stuff, I guess you can say it was sprinkled with racism just because what the KKK is associated with. But I don't think they were going at it like a racist angle.
No.
Hashtag society is to blame.
Yeah. I mean, it definitely touched more on the tension that society has right now, as far as like the tension between police officers and the public and the government and stuff like that. Yeah, and the way people feel like we're being manipulated by the government and things like that.
That's why we shot him up.
Yeah. But
well, that's all I had on that one, boys.
what was another one I was going to think of? That sparked my, like, I personally, I know Brian disagrees with this. I'd put Metal on there. I didn't care for Metal at all.
I think the ending of Metal was garbage. Yeah, I'm with you on that. It gave us some cool characters, though.
Yeah, Metal. Yeah, definitely gave
One of
you
the
some
most
characters.
overused with that Batman Who Laughs, right?
Yeah.
Oh my god. Year of the villain, year of the Batman Who Laughs, year of... No, I'm kidding.
The whole year of the villain thing is kind of cheesy to me.
Yeah, I really was hoping it was going to be a lot more impactful, but they build it up as some huge event, and like now I'm like barely reading tie-ins, and there's a couple I'm looking at like, oh, that's interesting, and I genuinely believe that. But for the most part, yeah, it's another one of DC's corny, Dan DiDio led, like a lot of huff and puff before like actually any meat behind it.
Yeah, I agree.
That happens
So
a
many-
lot with event books, though.
Yeah, but like I don't even mind you being in love with those if they actually are events. You could have just said, oh, we're having little random one-offs about, the villains and giving a little shout out to them or something low key. DC's making it so big and so interconnected. It's neither. It's neither. And then Leviathan Rising, like all these events, like they're marked as some super huge deal, and they're very, very forgettable. Like even when you first pick them up, they're forgettable. As they start to tie in, the whole story's forgettable. Like I agree with you, man. Like they're
Forgettable.
yeah, exactly.
Completely forgettable.
Kind of sticking on the topic we're at hand, and Brian and Kyle I'm glad that they're here to talk about this too. So I kind of wanted to do a deep dive into a little bit into Crisis on Infinite Earth storyline for people who might not be familiar with it that watch the CW shows, because Batwoman, Arrow, Flash, they're getting into the meat and potatoes of the Crisis, and Flash kind of has started to kick it off with Barry Allen coming to terms with that he's got to die in Crisis and everything that's going to happen with that, going to the future and seeing what happens to him the day after Crisis is supposed to happen. So kind of explain to the people a little bit who might not be familiar with the comic storyline, like what happens with Crisis and why it's such a big deal.
Well, the point of Crisis was Marv Wolfman was saying, "I'm going to get rid of all these different universes. I'm going to make one DC universe." So this was
tie up loose ends.
This was his way of getting rid of everything else and making it one. And this is what the whole basis of Crisis is on.
I actually learned something interesting today about Crisis that I didn't know, is that before the Crisis on Infinite Earth story event happened, that DC Comics storylines were very much like Marvel, where they were in disarray and kind of all over the place and not coherent and didn't make sense. And then the sales on Batman were so bad that they were actually considering canceling the book.
Yeah.
That was the reason why they were getting rid of all the other Earths.
That's what if you guys will hear this said a lot. First post-Crisis appearance. Crisis was such a big deal that it kind of wiped the slate clean on everything in the DC universe, and they started fresh. It was one of the first times that any comic company had done that. And I think the first Batman storyline that kind of came out after Crisis was Year One, if I'm correct, right? That's where they have the first. That's why they call that the first post-Crisis Catwoman, yada yada yada. So they kind of got these major writers who were the bigwigs at the time to set them up to write the first things. That's where you got the John Byrne Superman, the Frank Miller Batman. You got a lot of things that kind of with the whole wiping, like the way Marvel and DC redoes number ones and stuff all the time. And it was cool at the time. Everybody loved it, but it lasted a lot longer than any other time before it. They didn't re-wipe the slate until years later with they had Crisis on Infinite Earths, and then they did one just called Crisis, and then they did one called Infinite Crisis, and they play on words of it all the time.
What Crisis?
Yeah. But it was such a big storyline that I think it was like considered the first real event storyline. And they got the biggest artist who was in the world at the time, which is George Perez, to do the art.
He originally wasn't going to draw that.
Yeah. Yep.
And he got so excited about it that he got to get into it that it's I don't think it would be the same if he didn't.
Oh, beautiful covers too.
Oh man.
So another thing that's kind of crazy is that there's, I mean, of course you have the death of Barry Allen, which is a big deal. And then you have the death of Supergirl, which is a big deal. But you also have some crazy first appearances that a lot of people don't know about, like the real first appearance of Constantine's in Crisis. He's in the background. George Perez wrote him in the background of an issue.
I think another big thing about Crisis was that was one of the first times that a lot of characters die.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, a lot of characters died.
A lot of characters.
A lot of characters met each other too, right? I mean, there was because they brought all the worlds together. So, at one time you had the JSA were on a different world as the Justice League. You had the Earth one, the different Earths 1 through like 70 something or something like that, right?
Earth S and
Earth 3, Earth S. You had Superboy Prime. That's where Superboy Prime first showed up. It was just a crazy event. It was probably like the first real comics event that ever happened. And the whole Monitor thing was kind of weird. That was kind of weird. That was kind of DC's take on the Watcher.
Yeah.
Kind of like that entity. And that was kind of crazy. It was just a crazy event. Absolutely nuts.
It's worth reading if you haven't read it.
Yes. One of the best reads. But you still have to kind of know some history of those characters. Kind of like Kingdom Come.
It doesn't take a lot, though. I mean, as you're reading it, you can be like, all right, I need to see this. All right, I need to see this.
Yeah.
I definitely think you both are right. Like, yes, it pays or behooves you to have some like background information, but not utterly necessary, because you're right. You catch on, the basic tenets of some heroes and go along with the story from there. So, yeah, right down the middle with that. I agree with both of you.
So Corbin, I know you're caught up on the DC shows. You were saying, right? You're watching Batwoman and Arrow and Flash. What is your thought of them using a Harrison Wells and Flash as Parrish?
I don't know. Okay, so of all of them, the Flash is the one that's giving me the hardest time of like understanding what's going on. And when I don't mean that as far as like I get the story, but I'm thinking of all these shows, except for Batwoman, of course, since it's really just first season, as not so much the present, but how does it tie into Christ on Infinite Earths? What are the storylines going to change? Because I think each show has it's basically 3 seasons in this one season. You have Before Crisis, you have the show, you have After Crisis. So with this one, I think it's interesting. Like I mean, with Wells, the Wells twist here, I think it's an interesting twist. I just don't understand the I don't even know if it's like the substance or how important it is. Let's just say that. Like I'm not really buying into too much on the Flash right now because apparently the Flash is supposed to die too. So how much of this stuff is really going to matter and how much is it going to be canceled out?
Well, so for people who may not know, what's the significance between Flash and Supergirl having to die in this series?
So in the comic series, they both die, and it was each. I wasn't around during the time, but obviously it was each significant losses that no one really saw coming in the DC community. I think that they both died trying to. I think that Supergirl was fighting the Anti-Monitor or doing something there. I know Flash was trying to save some of the heroes at the time in the comics. They both met their demise. I think in the CW universe in the CW universe they're subbing Arrow for Supergirl, and then apparently Barry Allen, the Flash, is supposed to die as well. The question though is that like, unlike Arrow, which is ending, the Flash, by all accounts, is still going to go. So are they going to bring Barry Allen back? Is it going to be a Wally West Flash is going to move on here? Are they going to reverse that? What is going to happen? And also, if people remember the last Elseworlds crossover, Arrow agreed to you're funny. Arrow agreed to like sacrifice or know that he made a deal with the Monitor to sacrifice his life in exchange for theirs. Or save their life. So was it just during that one time? Will Barry do something in this upcoming crossover that will negate that? It's the significance is that we know that they're the two biggest characters who not only died in the comic series, but were dead for years. They didn't come back for a while. And that was significant. So how is it going to tie into this crossover is a question I have on my mind, but I have the slightest clue as to how that would work, theory-wise.
What if they do something like we know that I can't think if I can think of his name. Flash from the evil Barry Allen Flash that was in season 2 or 3? Zoom, I think it was.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they had so many speedsters.
What do you think the possibility is of them going back through going back in time some way to get him to take Barry Allen's place? Because they say Barry Allen has to die. They don't say what Barry Allen, and then they continue on with the show from there.
I really hope they wouldn't. I mean, I agree with you, and I think they would do something like that. But I would hope they wouldn't. I wouldn't want them to cheap the death of the Flash in that way. But you're right. That would be interesting. They could do something similar to that. They might as well get it done now. I think it wouldn't hold any water or any kind of weight if that were to happen in Christ on Infinite Earths. Like whatever going back in time, whatever you're gonna do that in these episodes that are establishing that. I do have one theory, and that's that the Flash that they kill will end up being the one from the 90s TV show.
Oh, you think it's going to be the Jay Garrick Flash?
Yes.
His dad?
Barry. Yeah, I think it'll be that Barry. I mean, all multiple worlds are destroying anyway. A Flash did die. Wasn't he the Barry of that universe? Bam. Like, make that happen. But even then, it's interesting. And I mean, he's been in enough of them, and it would make it an ultimate like Endgame-esque type deal by closing out the chapter on that Flash completely, especially since we've seen him in previous crossovers in the CW universe. But that's my theory. I'm not really sure how I feel about it, but I think that's more than likely what would happen.
Maybe it's just me, but have you found Arrow?
Good job.
Yeah, you did. Now, with Flash, for me personally, it almost seems like it's hard to keep track of what's going on with that storyline. I know, like, the Flash is setting you up for Barry Allen's death and Crisis, but like Arrow is trying to like get you ready for Crisis. and I'm watching the first episode of Arrow, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? Like, I didn't catch that he was in Earth 2 until later on when they like wipe out Earth 2. And I'm like,
wow.
Okay, now I get it.
He was in that one. Hey.
Yeah, it's just weird the way they're approaching Crisis without a lot of the key players intact and how they're subbing out people for it. But
have they shown the Kingdom Come universe yet?
they haven't done any of that yet. It's been the build up. And what is it? It's December when the Crisis event happens. Yeah.
And they show a couple episodes, and you have their mid-season break, and then that takes over, I think, on Supergirl, and then it also ends up being like the last episode is going to be a Legends of Tomorrow, and that's also going to kick off that season, since that's like going to start midway through. It's weird.
Yeah, and that's like after their mid-season break, so it's like after they come back from the holiday break.
Yeah, and we're all going to have to tune to Legends of Tomorrow, which I never watched because it ends up being the close of Crisis on Infinite Earth. So it's the beginning of the new show and the close of this one on that show. Tricky how they did it. I'll give them that.
And that's also Brandon Routh. Like, he's leaving that show at that point, isn't he? I know he's supposed to be leaving Heroes or Legends.
They're already leaving. They're already off of what was he, Dr. Palmer in Legends, and they're already exiting that. So I would imagine this is the last one. Now the question is whether he's going to be like two different characters, Palmer and the Superman. In fact, there's a bunch of actors, actresses as well in those roles that we wonder if they're going to double in certain ones, because they're bringing back some of the original cast from Birds of Prey, which was like the first CW superhero show. And the Alice, I forgot the actress name, but Alice in Batwoman was Canary or Black Canary in Birds of Prey. So will she double up as Alice in the Batwoman and then also be part of the universe of that one, since she was the protege hero back then they were building up in that original show? And you know what I mean? There's going to be multiple characters in this rich lineage of CW DC shows that have played multiple roles that could either double up as one or the other to add some history to that one, close that out, while also being the current iteration of the character they are. There's a lot of different ways they can go with it. I'm interested in seeing it. I am putting so much unrealistic expectations on the show, and I understand that, but I am so hyped for it. It just seems like it's going to be so much fun, even within the context of wonky CGI, because they've probably already burst their budget just bringing in all these actors, and half of them I think are going to die in like the destruction of all these worlds anyway. But I think it's still interesting. Like, you got fucking Kevin Conroy, Burt Ward, Smallville cast, like
Rich Corbin.
Huh? I'm sorry, I got hyped. But like, yeah, like you got. It's going to be exciting. I'm really looking forward to it, even though I know like I'm holding up a high bar for a show that like I'll be happy if it just gets like met level expectation. But the fact that they're being so ambitious, I couldn't see this. It could crash and burn, and I would still support it because they tried to push the envelope with this. Like, no CW show, no kind of weekday kind of thing is kind of getting that much anticipation for the last like 7 months for nothing yet. We haven't even seen anything yet. We're just really pouring over cast photos and everything. Like, we get it. It's been a slow comic year, after the movies and everything, but even that wouldn't generate that much interest.
Yeah.
Grizzle Geek says Flash turns into the lightning bolt that created himself and becomes the Speed Force.
Grizzle Geek never changed. I'm playing.
That's what you were kind of saying, Corbin. That's one thing that worries me about this is like they're putting so much hype about all these other characters that they're getting, like you said, Burt Ward, and they're getting the Smallville cast. And like, are they just going to be a blip? Are they going to be a blip? And like, you see a scene of them wiping out an Earth, and it's just that Earth. Like, I really hope like some of these characters have. I know Lois Lane from Smallville is going to, but I really hope some of these characters have a bigger role in Crisis than what we're being led to see.
Yeah, definitely. Because it's going to be interesting. Either way, I'm definitely ready to tune into that. But, Batwoman is keeping me tied over until then.
Yeah, he's saying that's what happened in Crisis, is that Flash turned into a lightning bolt that created himself becoming the Speed Force.
Yeah.
But,
what kind is happening right now in Flash? I have to read it.
Yeah, it's been a minute since I read it, but I do remember some of that happening. Years. I gotta crack open the book tonight.
I'm just interested to see what they're doing with like Cisco getting rid of his powers and kind of where all this is leading to, and it
no more shows.
Yeah, it literally feels like it should be like that should lead to the end of all the CW shows, but they just started Batwoman, so I don't know if that's gonna hold water. But
And Hush was in this last episode, or at least the Good Doctor was.
What?
Oh, it wasn't actually Hush. It was Hush. It was what's his name?
Yeah. Jason Bartner.
Oh yeah. I'm
What was
killing
he?
myself right
What was
now.
the end?
It's gonna bug me.
Batwoman.
The guy who
Oh, okay.
who's Hush? Who is Doctor Elliot? What? Tommy Elliot. Thomas Elliot. Okay, there we go. It was killing me. Anyway, he was in. It was. I was.
I literally see you dying over there. It was killing
Yeah,
you. You're dead. You are dead now.
Oh yeah, but he was in it. Apparently,
We have lost Corbin. He's the first casualty in Crisis on Infinite podcasts.
boom! I turned myself into the light that sparked the multiverse. Trying to remember who Hush was, but yeah, in this latest Batwoman episode, Tommy Elliott came back into Gotham because he had heard that Batman was back, even though obviously it was Batwoman, and he was trying to take Batman out with this special gun that was the only gun that could penetrate Batman's armor. So this is where CW gets stupid and corny with it. But basically, it was like she was like, "How did you find out that Bruce Wayne was Batman?" And then Tommy's like, "Well, I paid someone to riddle it to me," or something like that. Which obviously is like, okay, the riddlers exist in this universe. It was interesting. It was also the first episode where Kate Kane actually went and used her own, the red wig and everything, like the Batwoman look, instead of the modified bat suit she was using for the first 2 episodes. So that was cool. Elliot at the end was sent to Arkham, so I'm sure he'll be back, and maybe they'll build it out to make it into a Hush type of thing. But they already basically made the character. They kind of just took it down to his bare bones. Like, okay, the Riddler told me who Batman was. I hate Batman for not letting me kill my parents, and now I'm going to kill Batman. But Batwoman came in to stop it. So it's like Batwoman's going to be that like Batman adjacent kind of dude for a lot of these Rogues Gallery villains of Batman's, which is interesting. At least we get to see their interpretations.
Have you guys seen? This is kind of off topic, but I was looking up that Hush thing, and it brought me to this image. Have you guys ever seen those MediaCom toys? Look at this. No. This is crazy. Look how badass these are. It's called. This is the MediaCom Hush figure.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
And it's fully posable.
Oh wow.
How crazy is that? I can't believe I never heard of these. Sorry, way off topic, but look how beautiful that is. Absolutely, and they do all kinds of crazy stuff. Like they have a Dark Knight figure. Yeah. Anyway, so
and they're reasonably priced.
Yeah, $100 for that one. But there's a look at this one.
I love that one. That's the Dark Knight Returns.
I mean, look at that. You could pose it like that.
That'd be cool. That'd be cool to have on your desk pose like that.
Yeah.
How much is that?
$109 on Amazon, but
wow.
I don't know, man. It's pretty amazing what they got going on now for toys. So, anyways, my bad.
They're long gone from the $9.99 action figures you used to get from Walmart as a kid.
No. Right? Jesus. Absolutely crazy.
G.I. Joe 2-pack you used to be able to get.
Yeah.
But just rounding out tonight's show here, just some stuff to kind of talk about is that Joker has finally passed Deadpool to be the all-time grossing rated R movie.
I don't think it's kind of weird that that's in that category. I feel like it's not really a comic movie. You know what I mean? I mean, Joker's a comic character, but I don't look at it as much of a comic movie as I look at Deadpool.
Yeah,
I completely agree. It doesn't count to me. It counts, obviously, but like, does it really?
Yeah,
because it went out of its way this entire time to say that it wasn't a comic book movie. So therefore, we're not going to use that to measure against an actual comic book movie as far as like a rated R movie. But then they know if you take that away, then all of a sudden it's not as big.
So I haven't had my chance to talk about Joker with you guys yet, but I just got to bring up one point that it'd be interesting to hear what you guys think about this, because
Kyle just checked out. Kyle's like, I'm done. I'm out.
Well, I'm just going to say this one quick thing. It almost ruined it for me.
Almost.
He's so much of a pussy. Like, the Joker is a smart, diabolical, you know what I mean? And he is just
fuck guy.
Yeah, and it's just
he's a big old pansy ass.
Yeah, he's just too much of a pansy. And I get it. I guess that's they're trying to put their little spin on it, but I don't know. I just don't see the Joker as being that much of a pansy.
I think
Be careful, don't trigger Matt.
No, you're not going to trigger me.
Too late.
I'm kidding.
I think the thing you got to keep in mind, though, is that this is the story of his descent in becoming the Joker. So it's kind of like how he was.
So he was a pussy before he became the Joker.
Right, but you kind of see that throughout the movie, though. Like he's kind of like that pussy pushover guy until he has that breaking moment when he, kills his mom and then goes on the TV and shoots Murray in the head. He kind of has that descent and breaking moment where he just doesn't give a fuck anymore, and that's kind of like where I think that's what it's implied by when he's talking to the therapist and he walks out and you see blood on his feet. Like he went from that guy who wanted to be accepted to just not giving a fuck.
Well, there's another part too that really makes me. It shows how much music can make and break a movie. But that fucking song they use when he's dancing in the stairs is the worst song to use in a Joker movie.
No way.
I felt like I was at a Suns game, dude.
He's at a Suns game.
Hey, and he's like dancing around. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like, what? That was so terrible. They could have used so many cool, like, circus creepy shit when he was like, even what they showed in the trailers, it was a different song.
There's another song that I felt that I agree with you on that 100%, Brian. There's another song that they play in there that I was like, this feels really out of fucking place in this movie.
Yeah.
So there was a couple of times where they had stuff that was just really out of place.
I mean, it definitely goes to show that Joaquin Phoenix is a bad motherfucker, man. That dude is badass. Like, when it comes to just being a crazy badass actor.
It's actually cool that they had Gary Glitter song.
Really?
Yeah.
Not me, considering Gary Glitter is a huge fucking chomo.
I mean, that besides that, but but that's rock and roll part 2.
Yeah, I don't know. I felt like I was all of a sudden. Yeah, I'm in a Suns game.
I think one thing the Joker did, though, that it got people talking about this movie, and everyone has a different theory on it and a different interpretation of the movie, and it gets conversation started about it, which I think
not very good.
What's that?
So my interpretation is it's not very good.
Well, we've all kind of given our opinions. Let me ask you, Brent. Would you want to see more from this universe? Would you want to see more with his Joker?
No.
I'd want to see more with his Joker just because I like Joaquin Phoenix, but not from that universe. Does that make sense?
Yeah. You liked the portrayal, but not the way the movie was set up.
Yes. I thought there was just a couple things that, and I'm trying to get better about just going into a movie and enjoying it and not nitpick it. But man, there was a couple things that just made it really hard for me to enjoy the whole thing.
Like what?
That song and
Gary Glitter.
that song and that scene, and then how much of a wuss he is. And like Matt said, there was a couple songs where music in general is such an important part of a movie when it comes to score, the major songs that you bring in. Like, it's so important.
See, I thought that song made it like he was finally like, I'm fuck it. Like,
yeah, that's what I've heard a couple of people say.
Like it was complete. This is, what was happening is complete. And as he's walking down the stairs, it's kind of like an anthem.
But here's the other thing, though. Like, I saw I don't know if it was an interview or a little movie, a thing on YouTube where he based his dancing off of the guy that played Scarecrow in Wizard of Oz the actual actor that danced, and like there's this really cool scene where they replayed this dance that actor does. It's called like soft foot or something like that. It's a way of tap dancing to where you don't make it loud. And that dancer was doing those dance moves like back in the 60s in this black and white. And it was really cool. And I just thought to myself, oh man, if they wouldn't have made that music, that scene would have been so much more creepy.
You know, that was impromptu also.
What? His dancing?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Well, because I know was it impromptu for him to do it at that time or to dance at all? Because he studied that dude's dance moves to dance like that.
They just said it was impromptu, like it wasn't part of the movie. He just started to do it. Same thing with getting in the goddamn refrigerator.
Yeah.
Wow.
I know he's fucking. That makes him an epic actor. He got into the fucking refrigerator, but
yeah,
so awesome, man, gutsy.
Well,
the crazy thing is just how he acts with his body in the movie. That's the craziest thing. Like he's really good at acting with his movements in a way that's creepy as fuck.
Well, apparently that's all him. Like none of that's prosthetics. Like I guess he's got body deformity issues, and he's got a fucking pigeoned shoulder blade and shit. So it's all fucked up. That's just the way he is.
Yeah,
which makes it even creepier, to be honest.
Yeah, he lost like 50 pounds to play that role, and he was already skinny as fuck.
I'm gonna lose 50 pounds so I can play a pretty cool role too. While not having a stroke.
Yeah. Oh, hey man, I gotta give a hand for you, man. You've been doing good with that, dude. Yeah. Sounds like you finally got that shit started under control. So congrats.
Killing it.
Yeah, dude. Fucking tough to do.
Not being the next Jose, huh?
Yeah.
Good. I don't want it to happen.
Yeah.
It's good, man.
If eating green things makes me not have a stroke, then fuck it. I'm eating green things.
Yeah. Damn right. I'm with you there.
Martin Scorsese has started walking back his Marvel or his comments on Marvel movies not being cinema and just saying that they're a different type and not his type of cinema.
Well, yeah, he cut a bunch of shit. Now it's time for him to backpedal.
Well, even a bigger director like came to his defense too. Like another big name director backed him up on his claims too. And
who?
Who was
another famous guy? I forgot
who
his
is
name,
to say what somebody thinks is cinema? You know, that's all in the eye of the beholder, and that's
the
what
guy who made the effing Godfather. No, I'm joking, Brian.
Yeah, Francis Ford Coppola.
It was Ford Coppola.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. But that's the thing. Like, you know what I hear when Martin Scorsese and Francis Ford Coppola do that? I hear a fucking whiny old man. You know what I mean? That's something your grandfather said. Turn off that fucking terrible music. What the fuck are you watching? This shit is terrible. You know, this isn't real art. Who is to say what art is? You know, art's in the eye of the beholder.
I am the ending say on art.
Have you ever guys ever seen some of Scorsese's early pictures? They're fucking dog shit. So
it's pretty rough.
I don't know. That kind of pissed me off when they both did that to begin with.
And then the last little bit of news I have this week that it'll probably crush some people is that Freeform has canceled Cloak and Dagger.
No
shit.
Oh my god.
I think they're going to Disney Plus and they're going to be a bigger role in there. So
to be honest with you, I haven't watched an episode. So
neither have I.
I watched the first season and then haven't.
And that's why it was canceled.
Yeah.
Was the first season any good?
I enjoyed the first season. It made me want to go back for second season, but it's Freeform and it's a channel. I still am like, oh, it's ABC Family, and then it's Freeform now. I don't care about the channel anymore.
Yeah, it's kind of how you, whenever anything's on the WB, they had that stigma for a while.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So here's my name drop, or here's my hot take. I don't think, much like in the comics, I don't think that Cloak and Dagger are able to headline their own title. I think they're best suited as complementary characters. And that's my thought process when they're in their own comic run. They had a short-lived one, and it was short-lived for a reason. The show just going over longer than a year was more than I expected. I just don't think you could build enough compelling storylines around just those two without a dynamic with a third hero. Huh?
Kind of like Gambit.
Exactly. So from that point, it just didn't hold true to my own personal intent on them, and I still feel that way. And I think if this doesn't go to Disney Plus, it just is another tack on my board as to why I'm right about that.
Look at this guy.
He's got a board that he counts as the times he's right on.
Right here, but it's like on the lower level. You can't see it through. I can't adjust it so you could see it, but it's right here. It's a nice little board.
A lot of glue and glitter and Gary.
Yeah. Angry marks when I'm wrong about something like Sony and Spider-Man. Oh, there's a lot of angry marks there. And I'm like,
Oh boy.
I saw something I thought was on my camera, so I went to wipe it. But I'm really just tired, and so I made that up in my head.
Can you guys believe that Batman Beyond, before it even came out this week, it was a $20 book?
Hey, I gotta tell you that cover is beautiful, man.
Who got that? Who got that? Oh, I got that book.
Oh, and he's about to give it away to the first person who messages him. No.
Which one did you get, Kyle? Did you get the one where it's the chick on the cover, or did you get the one where it's Batman on the cover?
Batman.
So the one where it's the chick is even better, dude.
Yeah.
I only ask for the variant cover, so that's all I get. I don't get any cover A's.
So what's making that book a $20 book or a $20 book?
Well, one, the cover is gorgeous. Let me. I have it right here. Anyways, the cover is gorgeous. And two, I think it's the whole Batwoman. DC's smart. Yeah, they're gonna release something about Batwoman at the same time the TV's coming out, and but that issue was like Kyle said, it came off the presses of a $20 book. So to be a brand new book and to jump in the hot list that fast is fucking crazy. Let me see if I can find a picture of it.
That's interesting.
Anyways,
are any of you sticking with the Hickman X-Men stuff now that Powers and House of X are over?
I'm having a hard time.
Really?
Same. I'm laboring, but I'm going to stick through it.
I'm going to try. I'll continue to read it, but I just wish they wouldn't have done like some of the titles they chose, like Excalibur. Like, what the fuck? Yeah. I think it's like the same thing you were talking about with the channel name. When I think of Excalibur, I think of shit. Because that book was so crappy in the 90s.
Like, Marauders, the book that just came out this past Wednesday, Marauders, following Kitty Pryde's team. That book actually surprised me, and I'm interested in that book specifically now.
Yeah.
So, and the fact that they brought back the original Pyro, which was interesting too.
This is that Batgirl cover. If you can see it there, I just think it's a really cool cover, and for some reason I thought it was a Kubert because that looks like Kubert's.
So it's the first appearance of Batwoman Beyond.
Yeah, exactly.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And you can tell she's got the red hair, so they're kind of tying it into the TV show.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was very cool.
I did not get that cover.
Yeah.
Is that the?
I mean, the other cover is beautiful too, but it's just that one's really good.
Yeah.
So,
the one time he asked for all the B covers bites me in the ass.
Yeah. Yep.
Like when I went there, it was sold out. So the only reason I got one is because Batman Beyond's on my pull list.
Same. I can't wait to get mine.
Did you guys see the Art Germ cover that came out? It's shared on the screen there if you want to see it. It's kind of weird how they did it.
I have that cover.
Did you get the one with the secret variant with the action slate at the bottom? They're calling it the chalk variant.
I don't think so. I think I've got that specific cover. The one.
So if you got this specific one, then you got the chalk variant. This is the chalk variant. The other one has a trade dress in it. But that is just, to me, that is probably, I think that's top 3 Art Germ covers ever made.
Oh, yeah.
Fucking beautiful, man. Look, it has that like the 1930s feel.
No, that's not the chalk variant. It's just.
Yeah. Yeah, you've got, and they're both really nice. But the chalk variant's selling for a little bit more because they usually, when they do those secret variants, they don't do them on variants. And this was a variant that had a secret variant. too, so it made it a little bit more crazy collectible. But by far, Art Germ's best one of his best covers. I mean, the gun is really cool. She's got the Spider Woman dress thing on. It's just really cool. So
at least it's not going for a lot.
No,
I'm
not
about to
yet.
buy it.
No.
So it's going for about $13 on eBay right now.
Beautiful, absolutely
Well,
beautiful.
actually, I just bought it, so that was not $13 anymore.
Don't turn into Chuck. Chuck told me the other night, he goes, man, I have to stop myself. I'm buying all these books. I'm pre-ordering all these books. And the next thing I know, I've got 100 books showing up at my door because it's so easy to pre-order.
Welcome to the club.
Yep. Yep. It's like walking into your comic shop and you missed a couple weeks and they hand you a stack this big.
Oh man, that was me a couple weeks ago. It's just...
Honestly, that's gonna be me heading to Tucson because I missed last one. I'm like, you know what? I'll just get it next Wednesday or next Thursday.
You go to Greg's?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. So I have a nice little big stack waiting for me. Actually, I think I'll probably get it on the way on Friday. So I have something to get into. What did you say?
I said, ooh, this person has 3 of them.
What?
Issues of that Mary Jane?
Oh,
Yeah,
that's what's up. Okay.
I'm not listening. I'm on to buying comic books.
No, you're fine. You're fine. I'm used to being. No, I'm fine.
I think was it Greg that bought John's collection?
Yeah, he's having he's doing. I know they're doing the Old Man Con, the Saturday after Tucson Comic Con, and then he's doing unveiling / big sale in December as well.
That's when he's selling John's comics.
Yeah,
that must be when he's doing that. Yeah, he's bringing some. I think he's breaking the park. He's bringing some over to the con that I guess we're gonna have a bunch of comic guys and a bunch of old comic writers there as well. So that'll be interesting. The writer of Gotham by Gaslight will be there, so that'll be big for big fans of good literature. Yeah, cool. Man, Matt is intent on something, man. What's going on, Matt?
Not much. What's
And
going on?
now he's all zoned out.
Yeah, it's late.
No, I was just listening to you guys.
It's gonna be interesting, this whole Todd McFarlane thing tomorrow. I just wish it wasn't way the hell out in BFE.
I do too, but I'm going.
Yeah.
No, man. Like I said, I wish I could meet you guys out there. You guys would be like so close to where I'm at right now. Well, where I'm working at.
Joe, you are.
Well, you know what, man? What we should
10 minutes
do,
away, just working.
Yeah, what we should do is if there's a line to get everything, when we get like close, to the front, we should call you and say, hey, if you can get over here quick, you just jump in a line with us, get your books, and then go back to work.
Yeah, just stay with stuff.
Work as quick as I can, and as done with that, I'm heading.
Just come cut in front of everybody. Fuck them.
Hey, I work in a library, guys. Have some respect for me. No, it's not going to go over well. But just you got to be fun.
Is this the line? And then just...
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know where I gave up. No, yeah.
It sounds like he's only signing 1 book per, though, right?
Yeah.
That's kind of his norm.
Yeah. At first, I was kind of stoked because it sounded like he's like, I'm going to be signing all Todd McFarlane books. I'm thinking, oh, does that mean more than 1? No. It just means that he's not going to pass on. At one point, he was he wouldn't sign certain books. So
I was thinking about getting like my Matina Spider-Man 300 signed. But then I was just like, I have so much stuff signed by Todd McFarlane that.
Yeah. I just want to get the Spawn books.
I do too. I mean, it's kind of hard to go there and not get something signed, though.
Yeah. Maybe get those signed.
No.
Yeah. I'm with you.
Because then you've got to red label them and.
Yeah, I'm with you.
I don't want to do all that. Like, I was thinking, I wanted to. My Spidey 9/11 book, since I already have it by Romita Jr. The other dude that did that book, that does he does the New York skyline.
Yeah.
Is going to be at Las Vegas Con, and it crossed through my head. Oh, do I want to have somebody crack this book and get that other sketch done and then get it regraded?
Yeah.
I was like, oh, do I want to do that? And then I was like, oh, I don't want to do that. And I was like, but I have to do that because is he going to come here and I'm going to be able to do it? Probably not. And this is probably my opportunity to have the Romita Spider-Man sketch and then
the
Skyline sketch.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
So it's like, oh, man.
There's a couple other artists that are going to be at the Alamo Draft House thing too.
Yeah.
I didn't recognize him, but he's Todd said that it was a couple other artists that did Spawn work too. So
Capullo
should be a good event.
Yeah, it'll be cool. It's interesting. I just wish it wasn't way out there. Yeah, I'm gonna have to get up at like 9 o'clock, leave here at like 9 o'clock just to get there by 11.
Right?
Yep.
Shame we're so far apart.
Yeah.
Never felt more alone than when I come to the show with you guys. No, I'm fun.
So I'm going to try to get to school early and knock it out as fast as I can.
Wow.
I want to be done by like 10 and fucking drive as fucking fast as humanly possible out there.
Yeah.
So you'll be here by what, noon?
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah. I mean, it's what? It's still...
It shouldn't be that horrible of a commute.
Yeah. Oh, no, that's funny. That's over. I live about like 35, 40 minutes away from there myself. I work about 30. Like, I'm going over there, but like I don't live over there. So that's interesting. But yeah, should be fun, guys. I hope, take some pics, share some experience. If I can get free, I'd like to drop by for sure. We'll see how it goes. Hopefully it's dead in there.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
I know. Man can dream, guys.
But anyway, that's all I have for this week, guys. Anybody else have anything else you want to talk about?
No.
Over there yawning. Kyle, nothing?
I got record 6.
All right. Guys,
old.
I want to thank everyone for hanging out. Oh, what were you going to say, Kyle?
Oh, Chuck came in and just said books are $25. I was wondering what books he's talking about.
The Spawn ones, probably.
Oh, fuck that. That's awesome. I'm cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm cool with that.
So, all right, guys, I want to thank everyone for hanging out in the chat tonight and stopping in. And, guys, remember to play the drink. Hit up Kyle to play the drinking game. If you guys are interested in buying any of our Absolute Geek shirts, we got a new shirt dropping. Check out our Etsy store. I'll put the link in the description. It goes a long way to help support the show and getting gear and stuff like that. And it's greatly appreciated when you guys rock our swag. So I can see someone other than Kyle rocking other people's stuff and our stuff.
That's what it's all about.
Yeah, if you guys like this episode, make sure to hit the like and subscribe button. Remember our road to 200.
Max and Matt aren't gonna like this. Max aren't gonna like this episode.
Yeah. remember our road to 200, guys. 200 subscribers. Kyle is giving away a slabbed book. Remember to subscribe to Blogcast. Subscribe to Flipside. Tales from the Flipside.
Check out Brian's top 10 list.
Yeah, I blanked on Flipside.
Yeah,
but yeah,
just posted.
How do they find the top 10?
Just go to Tales from the Flipside YouTube channel. It'll be on there, or you can go to comicbookinvest.com and it'll be there too.
There you go.
And if you're in the Phoenix Valley and you're going to the McFarlane event, hit us up and let us know that you're fans of the show, and maybe we'll hook you up with something there.
Brian will grab your butt.
Yeah.
Kyle will give you a good old Christian side hug.
That's a good one.
But all right, guys. Well, that'll do it for this week's episode of the Absolute Geek Podcast. If it's your first time listening to us on YouTube, again, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. Just a notice for everyone listening: if you're watching on YouTube and you want to download our previous episodes, we are now on Spotify. So we are on iHeartRadio and we are now on Spotify. So it's even easier to find the podcast now. Thanks, Kyle. Is that part of your drinking game? Is just to show your shirt? Because you do it at every show.
No.
Oh, damn! I thought I was picking up on something.
You're not picking up on a goddamn thing.
Nope. But we're now on Spotify, so it's even easier to find the show. So if you're listening to this on the digital audio version or on Spotify, make sure to hit
Sir, I'm going to have to put you on hold so that I can see about getting you that credit for the Absolute Geek audiobook.
Wow.
Make sure to leave us a review if you're listening to this on the audio format. And as always, guys, we definitely appreciate you for downloading and tuning in each week. So for this episode of the Absolute Geek Podcast, I'm Matt.
I am Call Center Kyle.
I'm Brian.
Corbin Ford here. How may I help you?
We'll see you guys